I'm tired of looking through looking through the show like where's everything at? Shout out to everybody. Welcome to episode 115 of the Damage Per Second podcast. Once again, we are here. It has been a long time since we did a show. Actually, it's only been 2 weeks. It was 2022, it's now 2023. And once again, I am here with the amazing co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the man of many slaps, the man that literally buries people in the backyards of all of the first-person shooters that he plays. His name is Slow-Mo Backslap. And how you doing today, Slow-Mo? What is up with you and how have you been?
No, the intro is stuck in my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it definitely
I'm not sorry. I'm really like super hyped. Hopefully everyone heard that. Can people hear me?
They can definitely hear you.
Are you certain they can hear me?
Yes, they can hear you. I made sure I checked before I left the intro screen.
Okay. All right. Good,
I was timing your dun dun dun. I was timing. I was like, what is wrong? He's definitely sleepy.
I am so okay. Let me tell you what. I'm tired, right? Okay, so look. Yesterday I got myself, and yesterday was a busy day because I was like doing everything. My wife was at work. I mean, I work from home, but she was at the hospital. So like I had to drop the kids off at school, pick them up. I picked them up. We went to the barbershop, had to get haircuts because we was well overdue. And got the haircuts done, everything, head back home. I'm taking care of dinner. I did everything, right?
Yeah.
What I didn't realize, I get up this morning, everything is, regular, degular. And then I'm like, about to drop my son off at school. I'm like, where's my wallet? Can't find my wallet. I don't know what's going on. And so I'm like searching all over the house for my wallet. End up, trying to really taking a risk. Drop my son off at school. School only like 10 minutes away, right? Drop my son off at school without a driver's license on me because that's in my wallet.
Man, out
here, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Out here, illegal to the mug.
Right. I'm so like I'm like tearing up the house. I'm going through my car. I'm freaking out because like in there is my bank card, my wallet. Like I got like the wallet I have is like a magnetic wallet that sticks to the back of my phone case.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you open it up, it's real tiny. It's like almost like a money clip, but barely that. Like it's really just for cards, right? And I can really only put like 3 cards in there, so I only got 2 in there really. But the 2 most important cards, like my bank card, my driver's license. So later on, I'm trying to retrace my steps for everything I did yesterday. I'm like, it's either at the hardware store or it's at the barbershop. And so I drive back to the barbershop, and I'm telling you, man, the funniest thing in the world. I go in the barbershop, my barber looking at me like, hey, Slow-Mo, what you doing here? It's like, I mean, you just got a haircut. Like, I can't cut your hair again. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, man, I lost my wallet. I don't know where my wallet is. And I look down. He's eating his breakfast sitting in one of the chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Right beside the chair that he's sitting in is a chair that all his chairs are metal. So you got to understand this. Is my wallet stuck to a chair?
Where was this at? Where was it?
In the barbershop.
It was in the barbershop?
In the barbershop, in one of the chairs. My wallet fell out of my jacket pocket and got stuck to a chair and stayed there until I came and got it the next day. And I'm just like, I can't believe, like, I'm actually showing him and the other barbers, here's my wallet that I'm looking for stuck to one of y'all chairs. They were just like,
so they didn't call you and say that they found your wallet stuck to a chair. You went back and saw
I retraced my steps. Yeah, I retraced my steps to find where it was. And I'm just like, stuck to a chair?
That's a dead barbershop.
Oh, no. Look, they just reopened for the new year.
Oh, okay.
But it was a lot of people. The thing is that it was so many people in there Nobody noticed it because it wasn't not like it fell on the floor.
So nobody
It fell out
noticed.
my pocket and got stuck to it because it's magnetic. So it got stuck to one of the legs of the chair, and it was just sitting there, and I'm just like,
That's
I can't. I guess look, I'm just gonna be happy. Got my wallet back. I ain't gotta go get a new driver's license. I ain't gotta go, cancel my car and get a new card issued or nothing. Everything's good. But that was stressful, man. It took a lot of stress out of me, man. I was like, for the
it's
rest of the day, man,
his crypto
I was just
wallet was
chilling, man.
his
I
crypto
just been
wallet was in there, y'all.
not my crypto. No, I don't nah.
Had
But I just like
$100,000 in crypto sitting in someone's chair.
people just sitting there, just completely missing a wallet that's just stuck to the side of it. Don't even realize it. No,
Why
but
do
I
you have a
get that
metal?
really.
Why do you have a metal? I mean, a magnetic wallet if you're not going to use the feature that keeps it in your pocket.
That's the same question my wife asked me. Why is it in your wallet instead of on your phone? Which is the
Right.
purpose of
Of the
the wallet.
magnet. Of the magnet.
And maybe I should just stop using that wallet. I don't know. Especially now after like I tested it afterwards and saw like how strong the magnet is. I mean, like I had it like a good like 6 inches away from the chair, and it was like pulling towards the chair.
Oh, those are very strong magnets that you put on the back of your phone on those
Oh
wallets.
man, I was like, man, let me. I might need to stop using this. I don't know. Maybe just put less important stuff in it. I don't know. I just like, but
Audibles
I'm
like
glad
all
I got
those
it back.
V-Bucks stuck to the chair.
But by the time I got home, I was a little. It was time for lunch, and I ate lunch, and I was just like, man, It's just going to be a very laid back work day, which is. I ain't do
so
nothing
the
today.
the
I've been editing videos all day. I've been working on some of the videos uploading on the
what?
channel.
Working on videos.
Yeah, and then I was like editing some of our hijinks from last night.
Yeah, that
No,
was
that we're gonna talk about a little bit later.
yeah, that was fun.
But let me shout out some people that are
Yeah,
here
go
in
ahead.
the chat. Shout out to Arcade 4247 for being the first one here. Arcade, the homie, he been watching me playing some Road Company over the holiday. Road Company. Us. It's very few of us out here, so the fans gotta stand up when we see each other. Spider 13, Ramon Terrell, J Force Games, King Ragnar, Flame, Leonidas. Audible in the house. Audible about to come back to Halo. I know. That's what I'm saying. And Real Zaire Double O. What's up, y'all? Hope y'all having a good day. It's
Stressful day.
it's been a stressful day,
I do
man.
one more question on that.
Yeah.
How far did you have to retrace your steps until you finally got to the step that it was in the barber shop?
Not that far because the barber shop was the last place I went to. So
Oh,
like
so
what
you were
after
left. Okay, you were
yeah,
lucky
so
then.
after we left the barber shop, after we all got haircuts, I just took the kids home because my oldest had to study for an exam he had today. And I needed to get ready for dinner because it was getting late. It was like a good like 6:30. Usually my kids is already eating or
Mhm.
eating by then. And so I was more focused on let me get food ready so that I can start doing some other things. I was like juggling all these different things that I'm trying to do. And yeah, so yeah, that's the last place I was, which I knew I had my wallet at that point because I paid for the haircut. So it's like I knew I had my wallet.
I knew it was somewhere around here.
Right.
All right, cool. Well, outside of that, man, what have you been playing? I mean, it's been 2 weeks. Haven't done the show since right before Christmas. So,
Right.
what have you
So
been up to?
So I finished the very last game I beat for 2022 was High on Life. Ended up beating a total of 30 games even. High on Life, I mean, look, it's my opinion of the game didn't really change by beating it. I mean, it's very humorous. It's a humorous game with mediocre gunplay. It is what it is, but it is funny. It's a funny game. And it remained a funny game all the way to the end, which is cool. I think Squash Games has got a little potential there, but uh, I I'm not like the people who are like, oh, Xbox should buy Squatch. I'm like, nah. Like this is the only game you ever heard of them making. And frankly, without the Rick and Morty aspect of it, how much of a game is it really? So no. So but I beat that. I beat this other game, the very first game I've beaten for 2023 called A Memoir Blue, which is more of like a simple puzzler game. It only took like a couple of hours to beat. The story is very. I mean, I understand why it's kind of a touchy subject. Like it's about like child abandonment and issues people may have with their childhood and how they were raised and issues with the relationship of their parents once they become adults. It's very like really adult themed kind of stuff and I can understand why it got nominated for it was nominated for Indie of the Year in the Video Game Awards. It wasn't exactly, it didn't win, but it got nominated for it. But regardless of that, I thought it was kind of boring. I didn't really care for it. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for that kind of game when I beat it. But other than that, I've been playing multiplayer games, man. Lots of multiplayer games. I've been playing. I'm getting back into Halo Infinite, man. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I was hoodwinked 24
You,
hours
you
ago.
I did kind. You know what? I'm not even going to apologize.
Should, but okay.
No. Okay, so
Don't lie
DPS
to me.
audience, 10%. This is what happened, right? I hit up Forte yesterday. I'm like, yo, let's play some Halo Infinite. I've been playing with Hamp and Enrique. We've been playing like every other night. We need a fourth, though. We need a fourth in here. Let's do it. Forte, like, what game is that? I like Chad, like he don't recognize what game I'm talking about. Nah, fam, come on. We gotta play this game, right? And
remember
long
that
story short,
was 48 hours
he
ago.
asked me, did they fix the game? And I'm thinking about all the desync that I still see going on. I said, yeah, man, they fixed it, yo. It's good. It's fixed. Yeah, absolutely. And he's like, oh, okay. All right, I'll come back. Then I find out later on he told Randolph Thor 19, shout out to Rand, I ain't coming back to that game. After he told me he was. And then Rand had to spend 2 hours convincing this guy to actually play the game he already told me he was going to play.
Man, I told you I have a love-hate. I got a real hate relationship with 343, man. They straight ruined my favorite game of all time by that tomfoolery they were pulling with this game.
But I don't want to say too much because we gonna talk.
We gonna talk about. We got because
Yeah.
we did. I ended up playing with you and definitely we paused, but we'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. But
Yeah, I see you still. This is actually the gameplay you're showing now is my gameplay.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
My first match.
Unless you want to
coming back to it.
Yeah, it was gonna definitely be your gameplay. Unless you wanted me to show the game that I said I was gonna show that.
Oh, you were not showing City Skylines. Ain't nobody trying to see no City Skylines.
Legit, that's the only game I've been playing.
Like I have no idea what's wrong with you, man. All the games that's out here to play, you playing City Sky. Did you beat God of War Ragnarok?
Nope. Haven't even booted it up. And that's
you playing.
And that's
City
blasphemous.
Skylines?
Listen, I don't know what it is. I didn't want to do anything that took a lot of critical thinking when I got through. Like I felt like I did enough of that while I was working, and I ain't want to do nothing but just sit there and build a city and figure out how to make sure that this place got water and this place got electricity. That's all I was willing to do for the last couple of weeks. But I did play some God of War today. But outside of that, actually today was the first day I booted up God of War in probably 3 weeks. I just couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it, huh?
I did spend a lot of money on. I did
enjoying the game or something.
I don't know. It's not 2018. Okay, so I think the story.
So it's not DLC.
Oh, it's not DLC. It's definitely not DLC. It's definitely something different. But I'm not. It's like the story's fine. I like
It's the
this.
puzzles. You don't
Yeah,
feel like doing the
I don't
puzzles.
feel like doing that, and I don't feel like this. It's like bloated it for no reason in certain parts, and I'm.
Skip the side content, man. You
But
don't
no,
have to.
I
It,
can't.
it, it
No,
seems
it's.
as if you feel like you
I
need to
have
do it the
to.
way they phrase it, and it's
I
all
know.
they
I
have
know.
addressed all the criticisms from 2018.
They definitely did
Too
that.
many daggone troll fights. Um, uh, the side content not being, all that interesting. They actually made it all like the side content really expands upon the main story, and all of it fits in regards to each realm that you're in and what's going on in those realms. So, like, the side content is good. It is a lot of it though. You don't have to do it though. I mean, you could actually
I
do all of that
know.
stuff
I
after you
know.
beat the game. Just beat the freaking game, bruh.
I know, and that's what I told myself I was gonna do. That's why I booted it up today, and I said, you know what? Unless it's unless it's along the critical path, I'm not sidestepping. But it's also one of those games that I really just I don't know, man. It's just not hitting like the last one hit, and maybe I'm just used to like the overall feel and the combat of the game. But I also just feel like it's like they're doing things in the game just to do them instead of making them make sense of why you're doing them. It's like more busy work. That's probably what the biggest thing. It just feels like a lot of busy work for nothing. And I just feel like there's too much bloat in this game, but I'm gonna finish it. I mean, it would be real blasphemous not to finish this game because literally the only reason I bought a PlayStation 5 is for this game. So I think it honestly just really came out the wrong time for me. If this game would have came out like 2018 did in the middle of April and stuff, I would have beat this game already. It's just the fact that with just the time of okay, I'll tell you exactly what it is. You
Mhm.
liked Horizon. Like you love Horizon. You like the first Horizon, right?
I wouldn't say I love it. I
Okay, well you
did
liked
like.
it, but you liked it
I
enough to the
grew okay, so like my first time playing on PlayStation 4, it was like I think at 30 FPS or something like that.
well, nobody
Mm-mm.
likes that.
Nobody like that. And then I played on PC at
Hmm.
a much higher frame rate, and
That you did.
I had to push through the first 15 hours because it was bad up until then. But then once I got the big, plot twist reveal of the story, that's when I was like, okay, I can dig this. So I do like Zero Dawn. I grew to like Zero Dawn, yes. So you can say
So
that, yeah.
okay, so the thing for me is I'm in that point right now, like where I was making fun of you, like, man, you're never gonna go back and beat you're never going back and beat Forbidden West. And you still haven't to this day, as much as you keep
Mm-mm.
saying you're gonna do it. I'm like in that realm right now where I know it's like I can keep telling myself I'm gonna beat this game, but it doesn't impact me like the original one did. It doesn't really like force me to want to just jump in and keep playing it because I remember when 2018 came out, I was like, I would come home and play 5 6. I would work a full shift at work, get home like 9 10 o'clock at night, and I would stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning putting 4 or 5 hours into the campaign every night until because I beat it in 3 weeks, and it took me what 34 hours to beat it. So that was over the course of a 3 week period, just off and on playing it. And I always, every day, I think I went like 4 or 5 days in a row where I just was tired and I didn't play it at all. But for the
Mhm.
most part, 4 or 5 hours a day. That was like, I was going to sleep 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, especially if I had the day off the next day. I found time to play it. I just don't find time. It seems like I don't care. It's like I'll get to it when I get to it. And when you kind of have that attitude with a game, you kind of never get to it, which is the unfortunate thing. So it's not a knock on the game or anything. It's just maybe I'm just changed. Maybe I just don't care about that type of gameplay aesthetic anymore. But part of me just feels like it's just the story isn't as compelling as the original one. And I came to a realization, especially when you think about the fights in the game, and I was talking to somebody about this. It's like the beginning of the game is like a carbon copy of 2018. Like
The beginning, yes,
It's
but
like a
then
car. It does
after
pick up
that
after that.
point, yeah, after that point, it doesn't follow the same story beats after
No,
that.
no, it
Like
doesn't. Yeah, it
so
doesn't.
like the fight with I mean, look, it's been out for like what a month and a half now. We can talk about that. So the fight with in the first game, the fight with what's the guy's
Boulder.
name? Yeah, Balder.
Balder, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
Balder.
Balder, yeah.
Yeah, not Boulder, but
Balder.
Balder, you know, exactly.
Boulder's where Deion Sanders hashtag prime time's coaching at now.
Boulder is what Chris Redfield punched in Resident Evil.
He did he did do that. He
um,
did do that.
Balder is the Greek demigod. God, is he a regular guy? He might be a regular guy. I can't remember. But yeah. So like that fight, which was epic in God of War 2018 with Kratos, is mirrored with a very similar fight between Thor and Kratos at the very beginning. Now, I thought what I thought was real cool with that fight was how they made it seem like Kratos did die, like his heart stopped, and then Thor brought him back to life. But the way they made it seem is like it was like a game over screen for you, and then they like brought you back. So it was just like I thought that was cool. But other than that, it still was very much like it didn't have the same impact as the Balder fight because that fight was more of uh it was this other fight is kind of riffing off of that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's trying to recreate a feeling that you got from something already. And so like what didn't have the same impact, I thought was still awesome. But after that is where the story just goes off in different directions. And I mean, look, like God of War Ragnarok's probably the second best game I played last year. So
But yeah, I believe it.
I'm not gonna hate on it.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna hate on the game because I'm gonna definitely finish it. It's just
Oh, but,
it's just in my
go
mind.
ahead.
It's just in my mind, like, why haven't I beat this game yet? And that's kind of where I keep coming back to. I also played a little bit of Crisis Core, and Crisis Core is great. Did you beat it yet?
I haven't got back to Crisis Core yet because I've been playing Chained Echoes and I've been playing. I actually started XCOM Chimera Squad,
Oh, okay.
which is
Oh yeah,
really good.
you did say that yesterday when I
Yeah,
was talking to you. You said you was playing that.
and I feel like now, well, I got things in like I'm very structured in order now, and playing games that are new, and then also playing games uh that are in my backlog that I want to get knocked out so I can just uninstall them and stuff and just keep it moving. And so I'm gonna finish XCOM Chimera Squad and then I'm gonna get back to Crisis Core. And then while I'm still doing that, I'm still kind of playing Chained Echoes because I kind of want to take my time with Chained Echoes. It's so good. And I don't want to like rush through it or anything. I just kind of want to take my time with it. I am sending you an email. You'll see why, and you'll know exactly what it's for.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's just been crazy. But for the most part, shout out to everybody in the chat. We really appreciate you guys coming through. It's been a while, man. It's just good to sit here and chat games with you guys, but and what we've been doing. But let us know in the chat how the last couple of weeks has been for you. What games have you guys been playing? And share your biggest gift that you got for Christmas, or what the biggest gift you gave somebody, because a lot of us the Christmas ain't for us no more. It's for the people that we support.
basically.
But outside of that, let's get into the first topic, sir. And Jedi
Yeah, because
Survivor.
this is something I had
Yeah.
no idea about.
Yeah,
I had no idea about.
Yeah,
This.
Jedi Survivor. But before I say something about Jedi Survivor, there's something you don't know about me. I'm a huge Star Wars fan because I always tell you Star Wars is better than Dune. But
It's not. Can't be better than the thing that it was copying in the first place.
The stories.
Star Wars is overrated, as I've
Oh
said
my
before.
God.
So
Well, there's a reason that they keep making movies and games about it. And the movies might have sucked over the course of the last decade, but they still keep doing it.
It's a lot of people that complain. They're like Destiny fans. They complain about it and they don't do nothing but keep opening their wallet for it. So
that might be true, sir. But But you didn't notice about me, but I have a bunch of lightsabers, a lot of them, like 15. Like I have a wall of lightsabers.
What do
Like,
you need 15 lightsabers for?
well, because I was collecting the Black Series ones. This is when they were only like $100 each. I started out with the core with Vader, Obi-Wan, and Luke Skywalker. I collected those first, and then
Mhm.
and then we got the Mace Windu one, which was the purple one, and then we started getting gold and all this other stuff, and then I started going down a rabbit hole of like Saber, Saber, what's I forget the name of it, Saber something, and they make custom lightsabers, and I went down that rabbit hole, and I bought two from them, and their lightsabers, they're like $300-400 each. And then
Why?
just because I have a problem, it's like literally
No, no,
lights.
no. Why did they go like the
Oh,
price
why?
triple?
Why? Because well, the ones you get from basically the Dark Series ones are from Disney or they were from Lucas when they initially were doing them.
Mhm.
The ones from Saber, those are custom ones. So they have custom hilts, all metal parts. They have changing color crystals in them, so you can change the crystal color, and it could be any color you want it to be. They have better accelerometers in it. It has you can actually fight with these and not break them because they have the I forget the type of tube that they use for the
I
fighting
am
with them.
not fighting with anything I spent $300
It's
on.
just it's just the fact that you can, but they're very very durable, but you pay a lot for them. You pay for what you get with those, and you get to customize them from the ground up. And so I bought two of those, and then I have a few, like I got the Ray one that released. I have Dark Maul's his double bladed one. I have the Dark Blade, which I was very disappointed in. That thing's
Okay, so you like lightsabers. Okay, I
I
got
like lightsabers. I did not know that the collector's edition for Star Wars Survivor comes with a lightsaber in a box. It comes with the hilt.
so
It
so you're gonna get this collector's
is
edition.
three hundred.
That
It's $300, and I did not expect
does it
this.
come with the game?
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? I didn't look at that. I
You
just
didn't even
I
l
didn't even look for that. I just assumed that it would. Slovo, it better come with the
Why
game.
would you assume that knowing in
That's true.
today
That's true. That's true.
it almost never comes with the game nowadays?
You're right. You're right. It's probably a digital copy of the game, but I can tell you that it comes with like a little custom chest that it sits in. It doesn't come with the blade, so you have to buy the blade, but it comes with the hilt. And the hilt is dude, the hilt better be like made of magic for it not to come with a blade, but you could buy the blade separately to put inside of it.
Before, can we talk about this game instead of
We
these
are.
lightsabers?
It's a lightsaber. It's a lightsaber. I'm sorry. So so
You gonna buy it because it's got a lightsaber. You don't even care that the game ain't included,
yeah,
or
I
it may
don't.
be included.
I don't. I just want it because it has a lightsaber in the box. So, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. The PC requirements were released, so these aren't console specs, but we can just assume that console probably 15 to 20 gigs smaller than probably 30 gigs smaller than what the PC is going to be. But we always like to talk about the
Much
specs,
lower frame rates.
much lower frame rates. But so Star Wars Jedi Survivor PC requirements revealed requires 130 gigs of storage space. Now, I have that on my PC.
I have that on my
I
PC
don't
too.
have that on my Xbox. I don't have that on my Xbox. So, it also on recommended settings, the game will also require either a RTX 2070 or RX 67 XT.
That's recommended.
Recommended
Okay,
with an
a
XT
2070
20
super.
super,
Is
yeah,
this
super,
super? Okay,
or RX 6700 XT, along
okay,
with an i5 11600K or a Ryzen 5600X. That's
okay. That's that. I mean,
recommended. It's
that's
not
not like
terrible.
crazy. That's
Not
not
crazy.
terrible. What RAM are they recommending?
Actually, here I will read the rest of it. So this is they are only it's only recommended 16 gigs of DirectX 12.
Boo.
Yeah, it's only 16 gigs. Um,
No, the DirectX 12 is it with RAM. That's
no, I
the
say direct. No,
DDK.
it's no, yeah. I'm just saying DirectX 12 with
Oh,
16
okay,
gigs
okay,
of
okay.
RAM.
Okay, got you.
So,
What about storage? Is it recommending SSD or a hard drive?
so here we go. So on minimum requirements, it's requiring a either a 7700 or a Ryzen 5 1400, along with a GTX 1070, or a Radeon RX 580 with DirectX 12 and 8 gigs of RAM. That's minimum, which is disgusting. What would
That is.
what would that game look
I
like?
would not want to try to play that
No,
game
no.
with that hardware.
But it does say, meanwhile, on either setting, the game will also require a whopping 120 gigabytes of storage space. So you're gonna have to have plenty of space for that. Even with the
Is it hard
minimum,
drive
it
or
is SSD.
Yep. See, good. At least they're pushing that, where they're forcing people. Look, man. Look, I don't know what's going on with some of you guys who are still using hard drives on PC. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to say you. Yeah, I am trying to say upgrade your rig, man. Like but there's no reason in 2023 that you should have any kind of mechanical drive in your PC. You should be not even consoles are on that anymore. Like you need to be on at least SATA storage,
Right.
SATA SSD. Come on now, like we gotta do better. But I'm glad that developers are pushing the envelope with that. That they're not letting you know, get away with super slow storage. And we need games designed around at least SATA storage so that you know, like we can see it's it's going to benefit the way games are designed in the future too. So yeah. Um,
Rizar
my
said
question, huh?
Rizar says Microsoft's giving away SSDs at the moment.
No, Micro Center.
Yes, he said Microsoft. Oh, not Microsoft. Yeah, Micro Center is giving away at the moment. They do. You walk in there and just to shop, they'll give you an SSD.
They're just throwing SSDs at people. Take it. You know, we're trying to
Yeah,
get rid of
it's
them.
not an NVMe, but it's still faster than your platter drive.
Right. I need to.
Okay, now what you say?
Okay.
What's your question?
Okay. This might be a little messy, but
Oh, it
I
definitely
think
is.
it's messy in the sense that it's only messy because I'm talking about consoles, but it's also a relevant question considering what happened with multiple games last year. Is Jedi Survivor going to have a performance mode on consoles? Are you going to get 60 frames per second? Because I mean, the specs that they are showing for PC would say that the game doesn't seem as if it's going to be very demanding. So a performance mode should be necessary. And for a game like if you played uh Jedi Fallen Order, like you know that combat, you don't want to play that at 30 frames per second. You just don't. Like
No,
it's you want to play that as a higher frame rate as possible. And I kind of feel like they definitely I don't know. Like
if you want to know what a
I
game like
would be if I only had a console, I'd be very concerned.
if you want to play a
Just
game at 30 frames per second that's like this, go play Bloodborne.
and that's why I've never played Bloodborne. Because I
Because
don't want to play it at a struggling 30 frames per second.
yeah,
I don't.
I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
So yeah, like in this game, this is one of my most anticipated games of this year. So you know, look, I'm definitely playing it on PC. So I ain't got them problems. But for you guys, I hope for the best that you can get a performance mode because
Oh, for the
otherwise,
best.
oh yeah, and yes, Gregor, please feed those Wookiees. In Jedi Fallen Order, those Wookiees were anorexic. They looked like they had an eating disorder. I don't know what was going on with the legs.
They
Like
skip
they
legs.
skip leg day forever. Like they've never had a leg day. They don't know what squats are. They've never did a deadlift a day. They don't know nothing about that stuff.
Oh
And
man,
their legs were like it was disgusting. I don't understand. Like
that's
it's
funny.
it was bad. So like I hope they got the Wookiees looking correctly this time because that was really like I mean outside of the map being atrocious, almost as bad as Control's map.
Oh yeah,
Outside the map, those are my only two complaints. Fallen Order. Uh, Outside of that, I love the game.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
The,
really
the game was
excited.
fun. That game
Yeah.
was fun. So what is it that we want to see? What is the main improvement you want outside of the Wookiees not skipping leg day? What is the number one thing that you would want to see improved inside of this game?
Hmm.
And
I want to see. So like when I beat it before, I beat it on the hardest difficulty, and I do have it installed on my PC because I never beat it on PC, so I want to play through it again. Um, but on the hardest difficulty, right? It seems as if like these either you're a really weak Jedi or these troopers that you fighting should be Jedi's or something. It's like they are too. I understand that like if you're playing on the hardest difficulty, you want it to be difficult, but at the same time, I would like there to be difficulty, but not also seem as if my lightsaber is just a regular sword or something. You know, like I it shouldn't. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe this. I don't want it where it's like it's almost like Dark Souls
mm-hmm.
because yeah, I understand in a Souls game that you would have those kind of difficulty fighting enemies. I don't think a Jedi should be having any difficulty fighting like 3 or 4 guys in a room. You see what I'm saying? So like
I agree with that.
if it's going to be more difficulty, make it more difficult because like there's more enemies to fight
Yeah.
instead of but like I can kill them just as like I can dominate one guy just as easily as I can on normal difficulty, but on hard difficulty, it's harder because there's more enemies there. You know, I think that's pretty much what I'm trying to get at, and I don't want it being like it's higher difficulty. So now I'm like dueling a freaking like stormtrooper with some weird like uh baton or a staff or something that can somehow block a lightsaber. Like what? Like no, I don't want that. So yeah, that's that. I want to feel like a Jedi is what I'm saying.
No, yeah, I'm with you on that. I just think in general, it ultimately comes back to the feel of the game. And I do think that you should be, it shouldn't feel like if you get overwhelmed, it shouldn't like as a Jedi, I don't feel like unless I'm going against an Inquisitor or something, I shouldn't be feeling like I'm overwhelmed.
Right, right.
I should be able to, find my way in and out of fights. And I think that's one of the things that, what was the name of the games from 360, the Jedi, Star Wars.
Oh, the one with the clone.
Yeah,
Oh, what was Unleashed? Is that it?
yeah, Unleashed, yeah, Star Killer. I couldn't
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's perfect example. He was awesome,
It
and
was
he was
awesome.
killing people. I mean, it was great, and that's the kind of like he felt like a force user that you did not want to f
Oh,
with.
on
That's
steroids.
right. That's what I want to feel. Especially, I do kind of like. I do want to not want to like. I do. I kind of understand where Respawn may wanted to go with it, considering that I forgot the guy's name, but your main character in Fallen Order, who's also the main character in Survivor, he was an untrained. I mean, he was trained a little bit as a kid, but as an adult, he's pretty much kind of untrained as a Jedi.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense that he would struggle when he doesn't really like he didn't get all the training that he was supposed to get due to order. whatever it was,
60,
16 order
60,
45, 66,
66, man.
whatever the
66,
order is.
man.
But now that like there should be some growth here. So like now that he's gone through, like I hate it when there's like you complete a game and then there's a sequel and then they kind of like reset you.
Mm-hmm.
Like so all the progress you did in the first game didn't even matter. Like I don't like that. So make it so like he should be far more advanced, like right off the break. Of course, there's going to be growth. Of course, he's going to be able to get like newer abilities or be able to use his force, use the force in different ways that you would develop over time and over the game. But don't reset me back to weak Jedi guy in the very start.
I agree with that. Yeah, there should have been some type of growth or maturation over the course of that game going into the second one. It's not like you're taking my powers away. It's like you should see some type of improvement in his style. Like in this one, you should be more powerful. You should look at 3 or 4 enemies on the screen. It's like that's all y'all brought. That's all y'all
Right.
brought. That's how it should be. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
And it comes out on March 17th. So we're gonna get to
March is going to
be
be
lit.
a ridiculous month, man.
March is gonna be. I mean, think about it. Even the end of February. So like just like last year, February is gonna be lit. March is gonna be lit. We don't even know when Redfall and Starfield is gonna drop. You know, they might
Mm.
tell us, and we're gonna talk about the last topic there for
Well,
the
well,
Xbox event. Unofficially the leak date. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, unofficially for Redfall,
Yeah, unofficial late. Yeah, Redfall.
Mayish or something
Yeah,
like
we'll
that. But
see. We'll see.
I mean, this month is Forspoken. At least for me, Forspoken, Fire Emblem Engage,
What day does Fire Emblem Engage come out?
the 24th.
Oh yeah, it's soon.
No, that's Forspoken. Fire Emblem Engage comes out on the 20th. Forspoken is the 24th. February is Hogwarts Legacy.
Hey, listen, man, you
on the
skipped over the
10th.
most important game.
What's that?
You don't know? You have to play it.
The most important game.
The most important
skipped.
game that you got to play this year.
Oh my god!
Shout out to Cat Daddy Alert. Elder Cat.
Dead Space remake on January 27th.
Yes,
Yay.
yes.
Yay.
It'll be here before we know it. Everybody, shout out to the homie Cat Daddy Alert for dropping that massive favor for us for the brand new year. You know, that's like the gift that keeps giving in 2023. I appreciate it. Thank you again, Cat Daddy.
Anyway, PlayStation VR 2 comes out February 22nd?
Yep, February 22nd it comes out.
Okay, so there's that, and it's going to launch with 30 games. So for everyone who's hyped for that,
I'm about to say, you going to buy one? No.
Nope. I'm good. Look, I don't even use my current VR headset, so nah.
As you shouldn't.
Octopath Traveler 2 is also February.
I'm definitely getting that.
That's February 24th. If you're into Destiny, I don't know why you would be, but Lightfall
I don't know,
is the 28th,
man.
the last day of the month.
They scare me. They scare me on that one. We'll see.
They some trash. Anyway, Last of Us Part 1 on PC, March 3rd.
I might buy that just to see what it plays like at 120 frames per second.
Okay, there's Jedi Survivor. Also March 17th. There's Resident Evil 4 remake on the 24th.
Yep, 24th.
I don't know why I thought there was more coming out in March. When is Suicide Squad coming out?
That's a good question. When is the DLC from Elden Ring coming out?
They haven't even announced. Wait, they did. No,
they did announce. Did they announce it? Or they just announced
they just announced the Coliseum.
Oh,
I think they got the Coliseum out the way. The Coliseum is the PvP stuff, just so that like people wouldn't be complaining about PvP when they come out with the actual DLC expansion for Elden Ring. I think that they'll probably announce it later on in the year, but I still kind of feel like we're going to get more announcements that's going to come in March. Like I mean, we're gonna talk later on about the Xbox event, but I think there's more to kind of fill in this stuff. April is the expansion for Horizon Forbidden Door, and then Dead Island 2, which I think is gonna be a bomb. It's just gonna bomb. Um, Hogwarts Legacy on old consoles, where it's gonna run like doo doo, and
Dude,
then okay, Suicide Squad is May.
May 2nd.
So the only two confirmed releases we have for May is the game of the year, which is going to be Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom,
Yep, I agree.
and Suicide Squad. And then June, the Street Fighter 6, Diablo 4, and Final Fantasy 16. Man, it's so like this
You
year.
ain't gonna have no
It's
time to
like
play these games.
every month is a game that I'm going to be playing. Look, I'm telling you, this cannot be the year where you start like you Forte for the total you. This can't be the year where you're going to be like, I'll get back to it. I'm
No.
playing this right. No, because every month is no,
Every month
every
there's
month
something coming.
is something coming that you're going to want to play and finish as quickly as possible while also enjoying yourself because the very next month there's more fire coming.
Oh man. I do like to
It's gonna
enjoy
be
myself. You're right.
so look, it's gonna be tough, man. You might have to drop Destiny forever, yo.
Oh, here you go.
I'm just saying, because games like Destiny,
It sucked the life out of
they
you.
yeah, I'm actually working on a video about this,
Top
about
of
how
the night, Cat Daddy. We were just talking about you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Cat Daddy jerk. He'll be having a good evening. And shout out to you though. No, I'm working on a video that talks about how live service games need to change, and it has a lot to do with one of our DPS topics a few weeks ago where we talked about what Bungie is actually teaching people on on how to do live service games and how it is so counterintuitive to what gamers want and how it's really counter to like even caring about what gamers are interested in and the reason why they even play these games to begin with. It's going to go into issues that I have with the Division and how Ubisoft thought it was cool to just ghost the entire Division community for a full year with no content, no communication, no nothing on what where the status of the game was. Like stuff like that. It's in addition, like those are all the issues. But when they do give people content, the content is designed in a way that does not allow you to play anything else but that live service game because you just don't have the time to play anything else. If you want to get like, oh, I want to get all the gear, I want to get this particular weapon with the best rolls, I want to be able to work on this particular build so that I can feel like my agent slash guardian slash whatever, my warframe is perfect, whatever, like in order to do those things, you just can't play any of the games. You just can't. And so it's just this would be the year that like I still play some live service games. Now, of course, I play like live service like Fortnite. I'm playing Modern Warfare 2 all the time. Halo Infinite, I'm back in there. Rogue Company, but my time in those games is going to be at a
Mm-hmm.
minimum, because like I'm doing dailies and I'm getting up out of there because I
Yeah.
gotta get other things to get to. So my bad. I had
No,
got
no,
on
you're
my
good.
soapbox.
You're good. Shout out to the homeboy Around welcome to the show, Around. I remember telling you, I think it was 2 weeks ago, when you made the comment about Destiny, and he been talking about it over the course of the last couple of shows. He was talking about it on Game On Daily. Shout out to Gas and Asa. That was a great show with them a couple of weeks, like last week. But he made a comment. He was like, "Yeah," he said, "Yeah, make sure you keep Destiny off your channel in 2023." And I told him, $50,000 super chats, well, worth the super chats will make me delete my character.
$50,000.
Listen, $50,000 will make me delete. I will go live and delete my characters live on stream for $50,000. But then I was talking to somebody, and I said, you know what? I don't need $50,000. That was just an outlandish number, basically to say that I would never delete my character because nobody cares enough to give me $50,000 to do it. But I would do it for $5.
Give me $50. I'll delete mine live on stream.
Well, you don't even know about them. If someone super chatted me $2,500, I would delete all my characters. That's what it would take for me to delete all my characters. I would move on for Destiny.
You probably spent that much on Destiny, honestly.
I probably did. That would give me my money back. But no, I would. I would literally go live and delete. I would do it live, put it on Twitter, like it never, because that would be the thing that will never make me go back. Because shout out to Fonz. I think that's what Fonz did. Fonz deleted his characters, and it kind of disincentivizes you never to go back to the game because you're not going through that grind.
You got to start all over again, and that's such a daunting task. It's kind of like when you got so much to do sometimes that you just choose to do nothing.
Yeah,
you ever feel that way? You just feel so overwhelmed. It's just like,
that's how it is with Warframe for me.
TV.
That's how it is with Warframe for me, because as much as I want to go back and play Warframe, I look at that, and I didn't even delete those characters, but I stopped playing it for so long. I look at my character and I'm like, I'm so far behind. I don't want to play no more. But yeah, shout out to you,
with Warframe. I'm waiting for Warframe to bring in cross save. They brought in crossplay.
Well,
but they haven't brought in cross save because I don't want to play.
You never did
Warframe on Xbox anymore. I want to play it on PC.
You never did the migration.
They did not. By the time I got into,
they had ended it already.
Yeah, they had already ended that, and they haven't allowed migration to PC.
Oh, that was just
that was just to
PC
new platforms.
Consoles. Yeah, PC to console. Yeah, that's what I did.
Once they get cross save in there, I'm back on Warframe, at least for a little, because I got about a good 3 expansions to get caught up on. But I love the story, so I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that at all. I enjoyed doing Railjack last year. But
wait. What you trying to say? He said, Forte, I will not give you more than what you make in a year, brother. I might as well claim you on my taxes as well, sir. Rodimus, I made. Well, I think he talked about the 50,000. Rodimus, I still make more than $50,000 a year. As a star, some people complain about GameStop pay, but I actually get paid pretty decently. So.
You should when you manage like 20 stores.
Well, at this point, yeah. But no, $2,500 live. I'll do it. Combination of super chats will make it happen.
Okay, let's get back on topic.
All right, so moving on to the next topic. PlayStation accessibility controller. This thing looks wild. Super wild.
I think it looks cool. It looks like a flower.
It's on the screen. It looks cool. It looks like a little, it looks like a flower, like a lily. At the bottom.
You sure it's on the screen?
It's up there now. Well, I forgot to turn on I usually have an ultra low latency, and I forgot to turn that on. So it's like it's like 15 seconds behind. But
agree.
I know, yeah. Normal is like 15 seconds behind, which is disgusting. But
no, it looks like a flower to
does.
Me. I want to see like a video of them showing people how to use it. It's like I'm not going to use it because I don't need an accessibility controller, but I love to see that when game companies are keeping our disabled gamers in mind and creating devices and methods for them to be able to enjoy the games the same way that everyone else enjoys games, and really is keeping that focus on it. So like I'm really happy about that, man. It looks awesome. It looks very different than the Xbox
accessibility controller. It's way different. The Xbox one's like a big square, big box with buttons on it.
Right. Which is like it's cool. I think it's cool because it's like they approached it from a different perspective and a different design than Xbox did, but they still eventually came to basically the same result, which is coming up with a controller that's going to help all gamers really enjoy these games. So I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's sweet. I mean, like when I first saw it, I remember you were talking about it. Matter of fact, you were talking about it last night when we were playing Halo. So let me go look at this controller because I hadn't seen it yet, and I was like, "Oh, this looks." I like stuff like this because it really embraces the ability for everybody to enjoy this hobby to some form or extent because everybody, you never I always try to tell people you never know how a person's day is going, you never know what they've been through in their life.
Hmm.
You never know when they walk. Like I tell my associates, I say, "Hey, it's cool, to get upset and mad at customers and stuff about stuff that they do, but you don't know what their situation was before they walked in there. It doesn't
Right.
give them the right to demean or be
Treat you
me,
poorly,
treat
right?
you
Yeah.
poorly, but you kind of got to be above it all." And when I see stuff like this, when I saw Xbox do the accessibility controller like 4 or 5 years ago, it just
That wasn't
kind
that
of
long ago.
what was it like 2018 maybe 2019.
I
Three
feel like it
years
was
ago?
2020,
Was
maybe
it 20?
2019.
Yeah, 20. I think it was 2019. So 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but when I saw them do that, it always brings back the thoughts that we're blessed to be able to play the games the way that we play them, and it just
Yeah.
seems normal to us. And I'm just happy to see that other people can find some type of normalcy when it comes to playing games and stuff, however they like to enjoy them, because this
Big
is a great
facts.
escape. It's a great escape in video games. As much as we hate it sometimes and we complain about games not coming and games getting delayed and stuff like that, and I'm not even busted on day one. The reason we
Mhm.
care so much is because they help us escape. And this is the ultimate escape for people like that really needs to take advantage of stuff like this, and that's why I'm glad my PlayStation and Microsoft have found a way to make this happen. And I'm just even more proud of PlayStation because PlayStation has went above and beyond even more than a lot of other companies when it comes to their games. Microsoft has done it too, but it just seems like when PlayStation does their first party games, it's like accessibility options are right there in the forefront. And
Mhm.
I'm really interested to see how those well, how this controller will kind of tie into that, because the one thing I will say PlayStation does very well is they use their accessories and their technology and they tie that stuff all together really well. So how will games be built in the accessibility options to take advantage of this controller?
Right.
Because I can see that really being a thing when they're doing that.
Well, I think probably the best way to go about it is to just allow the controller to be used, but then like I mean, maybe that's not the best way to really say it, but like uh because I think the accessibility controller that Xbox has can be used on any game.
It can be used on
So it's
any
really
game, yeah.
more about like maybe the system allowing it and not necessarily like putting the onus on developers to allow the controller to be used, you know?
No, I agree
Because I
with
mean,
that.
like any regular controller that you get that works on a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X console is going to work for every single game out there. It should be more of like that method than saying a developer has to figure out how to get these controllers to work on their games. Also, but I do agree with you about PlayStation Studios when it comes to accessibility. Like it seems like every single first party game that comes out, they not only make sure certain that accessibility is like on the forefront of the things that they talk about, but they even go as far as to do a trailer explaining what the
Yeah.
accessibility is for that particular game. Like when Spider-Man 2 comes out later this year, there's guaranteed there's going to be a trailer that's going to just go through all the benefits that disabled gamers will have and all the accessibility stuff that's going to go on. So yeah,
Yeah,
they definitely deserve credit
I
for that.
agree. I agree with that. I think the big thing when I'm saying it, because I think the controller is going to work with everything. I like you said, I think it's going to be just like the Xbox controller. I just think the way I was like how we just said at the end with the accessibility options that the PlayStation Studios have. I just think it would be it's a treat. It's like you're almost you're almost not going out of your way, but people that have this controller, because when you turn those options on, it gives you options that normal controllers, normal controllers function as normal controllers. I can see
Mhm.
them being certain things that they put into the game itself when you have those accessibility options turned on, that will take advantage. Because I can see PlayStation Studios, since since the PlayStation made the controller, I can see just like how 3D audio is in the controller and in the headset and all that other crazy stuff. Not all games take advantage of it, but the ones that do, you get an
Oh,
enhanced
so
way of
I see what you
doing
mean.
it.
Like their games would
Would
go the
will
extra
go the
mile, like
extra
where
mile with the
kind of like
controller.
how with the dual sense, like
Exactly.
every now and then you'll get third party games that will take advantage of the dual sense's extra capability, but their first party games always seem
Always
to make
do.
sure that like yeah, I could definitely see that definitely
And that's
being
why I
something that
said,
they
and
do.
that's what I'm even more excited to see what happens with the controller, because PlayStation seems to lean more into the feel and stuff of the game when it comes to stuff like that. And that's why I'm thinking, like, people
Okay. Hey,
that,
real quick, we do have a correction in the chat.
yeah,
The Xbox Adaptive Controller came out in September
2018,
2018. So it's been 4
4 years.
4 years. Be coming up on
Oh, so I
5 years
was right.
this year.
We both were right. I was right. You was right. We'll keep it at that. But no,
Fine.
I
But
like that idea, and hopefully over time, when this finally does release and stuff, more and more people get to enjoy games, and that's the biggest thing that matters the most.
agreed.
But moving on from that, Last of Us multiplayer 2020 2023 got some surprises in
Is
store
the
for
question mark
everybody.
should be a question mark at the end of that,
There
right?
should be a question mark at the end of that. Question marks after everything else, but it's not one after that. So slow mo.
Yo.
What is it? What is it that do you believe?
Hold on, real quick.
Go ahead.
What have we seen from Factions 2?
Nothing. A screen.
Oh, we see stuff. We see stuff.
We
We seen
seen.
pictures,
Yeah, we seen a concept art
concept art.
of
Yeah,
someone standing on top of a building
we
overlooking
seen
like something that
drawings.
looks like a battle royale arena, but we don't know
When
what that
they
is.
said they was gonna give us more information on Factions 2 this year, what did they show us?
With
More concept
more
art.
concept. No. They'll show us a logo.
No. They showed like it was concept like a ship, like a
Oh
derelict ship,
yeah. They
like
showed a
on yeah,
derelict
yeah.
ship. Yeah, they
More
showed
concept
that
art.
more.
So why, when you look at the history of PlayStation Studios, we normally get multiple trailers of a game before the even gets into the year the game coming out.
Hmm.
Why, with this game, when we've only seen like 3 JPEGs of concept art, would you think that we're gonna get the game this year? Like no, it's not happening. At the earliest, 2024.
Man, it seems like that
At
number's
the
getting.
earliest.
Seems like that year just gets moved every
I think,
year.
and I think like they never said it was coming out this year. They said you'll get more information on it this year. And I think with that said, we're probably looking at like you're probably looking at really getting
But they've been talking about this
a
since like.
trailer or like an actual like scene what the game's supposed to look like this year. I think we will get at least a trailer and some gameplay this year, but I don't think we'll get the actual game to play this year.
When did?
I also think hold on.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
also think it's going to be free to play. It's going to be a free to play game, and
Oh, I agree with
it is
that.
going to be launched on as they already said. Live service games are going to launch on PC and PlayStation at the same time. I think it's going to be launching on both platforms at the same time. 2024 free to play game. It's going to be a lot of angry people about that, but it is what it is.
And Last of Us Part 2 got it released in June of 2020. We are roughly 6 months away from that date in 2023, which will mark 3 years a little bit over 3 years because they said that they were doing something when it came to factions not being a part of Last of Us, and everybody said, well, they're doing something separate. They talked, I think that was like 4 or 5 months before the game came out. So we're teetering on 3 years right now since they made that announcement that it wasn't coming with Last of Us Part 2 and it was going to be its own standalone thing. So this is about the time that we should start seeing stuff. And it doesn't bother me as much because I think a lot of people kind of got to understand that we don't know what the breadth and like the I mean not the breadth, the depth of what this game's going to be, how big it's going to be. We just get concept art and them just talking about it and stuff.
Think I think I would say this is, again, pure
Yeah,
speculation on my part.
speculation.
I haven't heard anything. No one's told me anything. But I do think you're gonna get multiple modes. I think they're gonna have some kind of battle royale kind of mode involved in it. I think they will. They talked about having big arenas to play in. I think uh you can definitely expect that considering. Wait, I don't even know if this is going to come out on the PS4 or not.
No, it's not.
If it's not coming out on PS4, definitely expect to have huge arenas to play in because now you don't have to worry about the small amount of memory that the PS4 has available, and you don't have to design your game around the lowest common denominator, the weakest hardware. Shout out to rest in peace to Optimus Code to always preach that. So now like you can really just focus it on what the PS5 can do, and then just have the PC version mirror that and go as big as you possibly can, which we know Naughty Dog definitely can. So I think I think it's going to be a lot there because when they leaked that they were not going to have multiplayer in the Last of Us Part 2 release,
I remember that was Firestorm.
which was oh man, so people was angry. But when that happened, when they did officially come out and talk about it, they said that well they did it because the scope of what the multiplayer was going to be so far beyond what the previous factions was that there was just like there's no way it was going to be ready by the time part
Yeah,
2
it
was
just
going to be
wasn't gonna be
ready.
ready. Then it turned into it being its own standalone thing 6 7 months after that.
Right. So I just it's you take that, you kind of add that to what we know, and I'm thinking that in anytime when it comes to live service games, the ones that are doing something unique, so it's like you got to have something familiar, like battle royale or uh interesting cosmetics that everyone likes, or you got to have some stuff that's familiar with stuff that's also unique, because if it's not unique, the your target demographic is going to be like, well, why am I going to play your game when I can just play the game that you copied that off of?
That's true.
So you got to have those elements. So I fully expect Naughty Dog to bring something that to a third person perspective shooter, which is what this is, that you don't really get from any current ones that are out there right now, like Fortnite, Rogue Company, whatever other third person perspective live service shooters. They're gonna bring something different, I think. Absolutely. Something that is like it's taking the foundation of what factions was and then just expounding upon that and then doing something that makes sense for 2024. But it hasn't been seen yet.
Yeah, see, and the thing is, Erasmus made a good point. He was like, you got to have a lot of people to support a game like a live service with the manpower. Do we like? It's all speculation because like I said, we don't even know what the scope of this game really truly is. We can only go off what they say.
Hmm.
Do we? What do we think the? Do we think? What do we think the timeline on? Like, how do we think what we just get is going to be like? What it's going to be for like that first year? That's why they're trying to build up for that first year, knowing that live service games really need a really good steady stream of content over a year. Maybe that's why it's taking a little bit longer because when they release it, they want to have a year's worth of content to release to you, and then
Well,
just
I think this is also kind of think about what Bungie said.
Oh, I know what Bungie said.
So is that really what they thinking about when Bungie they bought Bungie to mentor their studios and their partnered studios on how to do live service games, and Bungie is out here telling people at game developer conferences, man, look, man, release that thing
It's not
incomplete.
about where your game is on release. It's where your game is in 12 months.
Right. Now, I if you combine that with the way Naughty Dog tends to release their games, not a ton of bugs. They go through a very long form post-production process to try to get the game as polished as possible before it comes out. I think what they really want to do, not necessarily have like a ton of content for people to get through, but more have it be something that is actually very playable at launch, which is hard to do for live service games. That's probably the most difficult part of live service games if you really think about it. Think about how many live service games at launch are launch busted, broken. Think about how many times we've seen developers who've been making or working on the game for years launch a new expansion and people can't even log in the first day. It's
Yeah.
so difficult to gauge where you need to have your server capacity at and not mess up with hiccups where you may have like create a bottleneck in your config files for these servers and not realize it. It happens so often. I mean, like I work in IT and it happens to us with nowhere near the same amount of people needing to get access to certain things. So it's just it's difficult to gauge. It's not like normal game development where someone in QA says, "Hey, look, here's a bug. If you touch this wall, you fall through the floor." Like that's a normal bug that needs to get fixed. Figuring out how to make sure that millions of people are able to play a game at launch is a whole different animal. And yeah, that's it's even Bungie hasn't quite figured that out yet. Because didn't I mean you would know for certain, like day one, there's always server issues trying to get into the next Destiny expansion, right?
Witch Queen was actually pretty good. They didn't have issues. They're having more issues with seasonal content than they had with the major DLCs.
Hmm.
I think because they know what is I think they know what they can expect when it comes to a major DLC compared to, standalone not DLCs. Yeah, regular DLCs versus expansions. So I think they ramp up server capacity and stuff for that because they know the majority of their player base that did fall off during the year are going to come back for that. Compared
Hmm.
to seasonal content, I think a lot of it is just the fact that they don't know how many people are going to still be in there. Of course, the further in the year you get, the more people fall off, and then you start introducing more bugs and stuff to the game. So this is the part of the game where I feel like Bungie is losing most of its people, but a lot of those people will come back for those those major expansions to see what's going on. So it just ultimately really just comes down to, and I think like Around said earlier, he said Bungie's got a lot of people to throw at that game, like a lot of people. And the thing with Naughty Dog, this is the transition. That like how much is the development for this game taking place with the mindset that we're going out there to make a service game versus the mindset that we're making that box product that Bungie talked about. And if they're going into it with the service mindset, you're going to get pretty much just enough content to make you happy on the release of that game. But then within a month to 2 months, you're going to be like, where's everything at? And you're going to be waiting for the next
Right.
thing.
And
And,
and
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 that's the
that's
problem.
and that's the problem. And I think when it comes to live service games, I think the best first year of a game I've seen in retrospect. I'll say this in retrospect because during it looked this game lost 90% of its player base in the midst of it. And I'll talk about why it lost 90. It wasn't because of the content. It was because of the adjustments they made. It was the Division 1.
Oh, I agree with
So
that. I agree with that 100%.
they in one year delivered on a full game with a full campaign that was, a ton of content right off the gate. And then they dropped an expansion with an incursion, which is like a mini raid in addition to new content like the underground and all. Like they dropped 4 expansions within a year.
Yeah.
Like it's unheard of now to think of doing it that way, but it worked. Survival, underground, last stand, all this content that was very unique and hadn't been done before. Like no one else had done those kind of modes before, and a lot of other live service games copied those modes. And then in typical Ubisoft fashion, they abandoned them in Division 2 for no reason whatsoever. But the issue, even though they delivered on all that content and that content was awesome, the reason why they lost 90% of their player base from launch to a year later is because the adjustments they made to the game and try to do balancing and the issues they had with their engine and allowing players to glitch through incursions and beat an incursion that's supposed to be take 45 minutes to beat and beating it in 5 minutes caused an imbalance in the game. And then their balancing changes were absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And so the player base started to leave because it's like, it doesn't matter how much I build my character, I go into a mission and I get grazed by a bullet from a random dude in a hoodie and I go down, but I gotta drop 3 magazines into his forehead to get him to even flinch. Like that stuff, they couldn't get that right. And so they ended up losing their player base off of that. Like these are the things that come up that are unexpected. And even if you delivered on the content, you didn't deliver in other areas, and therefore you lost people. So these are things that like Naughty Dog is going to have to take into account, and hopefully the presence of Bungie helps them learn those lessons without actually having to learn those lessons, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like no, because Bungie said, "Hey, look, we went through this. Don't build your game this way. Build it that way so that you don't have to deal with what we dealt with. And therefore, we as players don't have to deal with that either."
The one thing I will give them credit for, I don't think on the long term, like the long tail of it, no game has been able to survive as long as, well, not survive because we got Fortnite. Fortnite is out there.
Fortnite's the best live service
Yeah,
game
that's the
that's
best
out.
live service game out there.
I would
But
say second is probably Genshin Impact, considering how big of the player when it comes to especially like
well, I'm just
mobile.
thinking, yeah, you're
And
right. When you're thinking about, because I think there's a difference between. See, this is the thing. Bungie has they talk out both sides. They have a box product that's called Destiny 2 that you still have to buy into, where Fortnite and Genshin Impact and stuff like that is always free. You just have to buy. Like Fortnite is just buying skins and buying battle passes.
yeah, but Genshin Impact is more PvE,
Yeah,
so
more PVE.
it's a little different. But the way Genshin Impact makes money is they use a very much a mobile gotcha
Oh
system
yeah,
where,
the loot box,
yeah, like
the
they
star
time
system.
gate you on content, so you can't just burn through content. You can burn through up to a certain point, and then you need to spend some money to actually keep going further. It's not as egregious as a lot of mobile games,
It's
but
Candy Crush, but looks better.
but it's still in there, you know. Like I got into Genshin for a while, and then I had to stop once I realized, like, in order for me to really enjoy the game the way I was enjoying it for my first like 50 hours, I had to start spending a lot of money. And once I like had maxed out and completely leveled up all my characters, like getting like loot boxes to unlock more characters was costing money. And it's just like, yeah, I'm just not interested in doing that.
Do-
But
Shout out to Dorian Gray. He is really trying to get our attention. He's like, I am just sitting here acting like nobody's gonna talk about Riot Games. And he keeps saying LOL League of Legends because of the whole conversation we're having.
oh, live service games, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But here's the thing: is that like League of Legends is massive on PC.
Massive.
That's the only place it is. It's on PC.
Yeah.
Valorant, which is also another Riot Games game. Those two games are the biggest games on PC, but that's just one platform. And yeah, there's like 500,000 people that are playing that those games right now. But that's just one platform.
Yeah, it's one of the most played games in the world, man. Easily. I remember Dota used to be up there, and then League just said, "Hold my beer. I'm just gonna leave you here for a while."
Yeah.
But
And but I think Riot also sees that like we're just in order for us to grow, we gotta get out of just PC. That's why they're
that's why they're
putting
moved.
Valorant on consoles now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
consoles and going and moving off of and actually going to a launcher, going to the Xbox launcher.
Yeah, I don't think League of Legends can work on
It
I don't think that could work
it
on other platforms.
probably could. I mean, but you also got to remember there is keyboard and mouse support on console.
Yeah, but people don't like to play that way
I mean, I know people don't, but that's
on
another.
console.
But that's
Yeah.
the thing, though. I think just getting the game out there for people to try it would definitely be worth it. I mean, I mean, it's just like just like think about it. It's just like the accessibility controllers for consoles and stuff. You never know what you like until you get a chance to play it. I always felt like that was a huge mistake for consoles not to actually push the ability to use keyboard and mouse for those type of games. Like, because I think there's a lot of RTSs out there, a lot of real time strategy games out there that a lot of
They're
people
not
would
gonna
like to
push it
play.
until they see the monetary value in it
Well,
up
you're
front. Like they've allowed you like mouse and keyboard to be used on the console. And of course there are games that could do it. Like I could play mouse and keyboard on Warframe
you
on a
can.
PlayStation or yeah, Warframe was one
No,
of the
no, I'm
first
saying
games
you
that
can. I
allowed it.
said no. I know you
Oh,
can.
but it's just like just because you allowed it doesn't mean people are going to do it. And the people that who own those platforms don't own them to
Play those type of games.
no, not necessarily play those kind of games because the Warframe's relatively popular on consoles, but they don't play them. They didn't get the platform to play games in that kind of way,
Well,
in
with
mouse and
that
keyboard.
input.
Yeah, with that kind of input,
Yeah.
having the option to do that's great for people who want to try it, or for people who are like primarily play. Again, I use Warframe as an example. Primarily play Warframe on PC, use mouse and keyboard. They also have a console, and then maybe like if they're gonna play it on console every now and then, they have that option. But again, you're looking at like a very niche
Yeah.
number of people, and that's just not going to be
No,
a
I mean I get
majority.
it. I mean, and the thing is the controller input is a lot easier of a controller. It's like more accepted because there's more I mean, there's not more console gamers out there than there are people playing on PC, but it just seems like since PC a controller input is a lot of people would say it's taboo, but it's more accepted than anything when it comes to playing on PC compared to playing the controller on a console. It's like it still seems foreign. Even though it's kind of been a thing for a while now. You've been able to
Yeah.
do it on Xbox and PlayStation for quite some time at this point now.
Yeah. I see guys in the chat saying it's like playing controllers on PC. I think that's a little different because consoles are closed environments, and they've always been primarily controller, whereas PC has always been more open and more free. And yeah, it in the past it was harder, not really harder, but more of a workaround to get controllers to work. And now it's so much easier with that because like the drivers are there, like DualSense controllers just came out a couple years ago, and PlayStation has an app where you can just install the app and do driver updates for your DualSense on your PC. Steam has all of the, like you could use Steam in order to get drivers for your controllers and stuff like that. So it's I think it's a bit different because the you got more people who are willing to play games in that manner. Like I primarily play games on PC with controller, especially if they're competitive. I'm definitely playing it with controller because I've been playing controller my entire life. So It's just
Flame,
easier for me.
Flame is like
Um,
he doesn't. He's not feeling your stealth play with Spider-Man.
what is wrong with my
He
stealth play,
said,
man?
"This
I didn't
Spider-Man
feel like
stealth is sending me."
I didn't feel like taking on all those guys. Like I pause. But no, like
Yeah, definitely
I didn't.
pause. A lot of guys.
I didn't feel like I. Yeah, you saw me fighting people earlier, man. In the footage, leave me alone. No, but no, just I think it's a little bit different with
No,
that. But I mean,
well,
to get back on topic with The Last of Us,
yeah.
uh, I think yeah, it's not happening in 2023, but we will know this time next year, January 2024. We're gonna know so much more about this game and what the scope is, the scale is, and probably still won't know when it's coming out, but we'll know a lot more about the game by then.
Oh no, we won't know nothing. We won't know nothing. Cause you
Now,
know
look,
what?
man,
You
they
know what? We ain't gonna know
but
nothing until this Activision Blizzard deal's done. We ain't gonna know what PlayStation do.
I look, I know everyone keeps it. They can't have everything held in limbo.
Man, shoot, Xbox got everything held in limbo.
They don't wanna keep everything in limbo forever.
They don't want to
Eventually,
upset the
because I
balance.
don't think the Activision Blizzard King deal is going to be completed this year.
No, I don't either.
So you can't just go an entire year again, especially when it comes to Xbox with last year, holding things off and holding things back and try to appear like you don't have anything just for the sake of some, some regulators that don't know anything about gaming to begin with.
Pretty
Especially
much.
when it's about games you've already announced. I mean, it's not like you're announcing new stuff. Factions isn't. It's a new. It's going to be a new release, but they already announced Factions, so it's like it's not like not showing the game is going to change anything. When it comes to regulators, they already know that you're making it.
That's true. I will give you that. I will give you that. So, with that being said, you're saying 2024. When in 2023 will we hear about this? Second half of the year, going past E3 when they do their whatever event it is in the summer. When do we hear
I'm
about
sorry.
this?
Say again.
When do we actually hear about this?
I think it will probably be in the summer. We'll probably hear something about it.
Okay, I'm with you.
I don't think they're making it a priority because it's not going to come out this year. So like we'll start hearing more about Spider-Man 2, and they'll be promoting a lot of the other third party stuff, I think. I mean, this is all my opinion, of course.
I
But
agree.
like yeah, but it'll be I think this is going to be a light year for PlayStation when it comes to first party, and which is why they've gone so heavily into their third party deals with like Square Enix and stuff like that, because they got potentially three, definitely two games that are either permanent exclusive if you listen to Microsoft with the
Yeah,
regulators, or timed exclusive with like Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16, and potentially Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth may come out this year, but I think that's probably going to be more like January, February of next year. But regardless, like I think that's why they lean so heavily into getting those kind of deals done. Because like even though it's definitely not going to happen now, but I think Knights of the Old Republic remake was supposed to be coming out this year too. And if everything went to plan with that, and Aspire wasn't completely out of their depth, then that would have been yet another game that wouldn't be on Xbox but would be on PlayStation. So yeah, I think they know that their games aren't going to be ready, man. Look, they they dropped a lot of first party content in the past 3 or 4 years.
yeah.
Like
People.
not everybody's Insomniac.
Yeah, it's true. I think everybody is, it's different. If you're an Xbox fan, you want people to come down on PlayStation for not having as much content. If you're a PlayStation fan, you're gonna be like, well, Xbox ain't never had no content. So I mean, it's give or take, but in general, we just want games to come out, and the faster they come out, the more we can enjoy them. So moving on to the next topic, Slow-Mo.
Mm-hmm.
The game. Is it time to go? Is it time to forgive 343 and start playing Halo Infinite again? Is it time? It's been 2 years.
Well, that's the question for you, sir, because I'm
No,
already
no,
back playing.
no, no,
Look,
no,
like
no, no,
hold
no,
on.
no.
Last year,
You're playing, but I'm asking for your opinion because a lot of
should other
people
give it a shot?
be ready to. Do you feel like it is time to stop hating on Halo and give Halo a try again?
Yes,
Why?
because
This is your shining moment right here, sir.
I'm not trying to sell nothing to nobody.
You got to
Look,
sell this one.
no, I'm not trying to sell it to nobody because it ain't my job. They ain't paying me to do it. They pay me. I'll sell the game if they pay me, but they ain't paying me. So I'm just going to tell you this: look, it's install the game, and if you like it, keep playing it. If you don't like it, uninstall. That's all I can say. Because look, I told Forte to install the game. Forte installed the game. He had a great time last night.
He lied to me under context, but
I may have lied. I may have lied about a couple things, but I got him to install the game, and he don't even care that I lied because he had fun. And so it's I'm having fun with the game. Is what I can say. It has the desync issues aren't as bad as they used to be. It like we used to see videos from friends of ours as well as our own personal experiences of like shooting a guy in the head with like half of your magazine empty, and he's coming at you at like the Terminator because he didn't see or feel anything, and it's just it's not like that anymore. Like I've been playing for about a week ish, a little bit more than that, I guess. Consistently, it's now in my multiplayer rotation, and I haven't had a single instance that's been like that. Now, every now and then, I may be like, "Yo, what?" Like I thought, like my melee should have hit when it didn't, but it's all. But like for the most part, my melees are landing. If you look at any of the videos that I dropped today on Twitter and TikTok, you can see my melee is landing pretty consistently because I'm slapping fools. But no, I would say just install the game. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's all good. Like Forge is in there. I haven't even really touched Forge like that. I did play it a little bit with Gaming Addict a few weeks ago on his birthday, but like outside of that, I haven't really been doing much with Forge. I've just been playing. Like I like Halo, and this is the gunplay, the foundation of the mechanics with this one is probably the best 343 has done when it comes to nailing Halo's gameplay. And so, yeah, I'm having a good time, man.
Okay, so all right, let's okay. How I feel about this. So,
Ooh,
what?
so I heard you were on Gaz's show
Sure
calling
was.
Halo trash
Sure
just
was.
without playing it since
Yep,
for a full year.
Yep, because guess
Called
what?
it trash. You sound like certain fanboys that be calling games trash they don't play.
Oh, I did play the game. I played it a lot. I put what I have like 100 matches in that game before I quit. I was good.
But
I beat the campaign and everything.
The game has new content and changes have been
guess what?
made
No,
since the previous time that you had played the game. Before you said all these trash comments, you hadn't played the game in a full year.
I started calling the game trash before when I left.
Okay, but I'm talking about what last Saturday you calling the game trash.
And if it wasn't for you lying to me, I would still say it's trash because I wasn't gonna play it.
But what do you say today? Forget me lying to you about the performance.
Okay,
which is there's a new bug as well, which is weird, where it's like I don't know how it happens, but it only happened to me one time. It happened to One Bad Mother who played with me and Enrique one day, and it happened to him pretty frequently on Xbox. I gotta say that it didn't happen on PC, it happened on Xbox. But where it's like there's like a weird like judder or a stutter or something that happens and you can't even, like, with me, I couldn't even crouch. Like, it basically just stayed until it was already the end of the match, but it stayed until the match ended. And then once the match was over, it never occurred to me again. So there are other little issues that have cropped up, but I mean, I'm playing. It's not as bad as me playing Fortnite, and I can't sprint, which is a new bug that they've introduced since Unreal Engine 5.1 went live on Fortnite, and that happens like every 3 matches. I gotta back out because I can't sprint. So, look, these games have issues. I'm not making excuses for it. It is what it is. But I just say, try the game, see if you like it. If you don't,
Hey,
you don't.
listen. All I know
Or you're
is
like Forte and you'll say it's trash, and then you'll play it and you'll be having a grand old time.
no. Let's okay. So let's. This was okay. I think Cat Daddy summed it up the best when he just said it. He said, "I'm not going back to an abusive relationship. No, it's Halo Infinite. I deserve better." And you know why?
No.
No. It's the best. It's the best analogy. You know why it's the
That's
best analogy? No.
destiny,
Listen.
okay? That's an
No.
abusive relationship.
No. Let me tell you. You know why that makes perfect sense? Because it's not like I don't like Halo. It's not that. It's not even that I didn't think Halo Infinite was a really good game when it came to playing the multiplayer. That was never in question. The question was all of the mistakes, all of the back and forth and things that was happening inside the game when this game was supposed to come out a year ago, and we're still to this day waiting for feature. Well, not waiting for, because some of the features are there now, but we're still having issues in the game. Now, sure, the desync and stuff is better. I didn't really see it as much yesterday when I was playing it, but I'm still a little pissed at them because they had me feeling like I was trash at the game for the whole first month that it was out. I'm sitting here like, dude, there is no way I'm losing these gunfights. But then it comes to find out it's massive desync in this game, and I
You
feel
have massive desync yesterday?
no, and I said it was better yesterday. But guess what?
Mhm.
But the thing is, slow mo. I'm still gonna. I told you yesterday as I was playing the game.
Mhm.
I hold a grudge against them because
Okay.
it should not have taken a year for them
You
to
gotta
get
let
this
go,
game.
man.
No, it is not letting go.
You
I
you
am
can't
not
you you
letting
can't
go.
you can't let
And
people
no,
or
no.
games or companies
Yes, you
rule
can. Yes,
rule
you
your
can.
emotions this way.
No, no. Yeah,
It's
you easily can. You easily
no,
can because
not
it's their
easily.
fault.
No,
It's
because
their
like because
fault.
when you don't forgive, it's on you. You letting all that pain,
Oh
you
my god.
just eat
This is
you up inside, and meanwhile they out here living their best
no.
life, and you the one that's hurt. You gotta forgive and let go,
No.
man.
This
That's
sounds
I'm therapist slow mo right
no.
now.
You sound like a person that just look that need. You sound like a person that needs a fourth person in your fire team, so you ain't got to line up for some with some random. That's what that sounds like.
That is very.
True. That's
That's
exactly
like
what this sounds
15%
like.
true. I
That's
like to
exactly
play
what this
games
sounds
with
like.
you, and this is what I'm just saying. Like, look, you already said you have fun, so like I don't even know what you even trying to
The game,
argue at this point.
the game is fun, and the thing is, I knew I would have fun because I'm playing with you guys. But it was on principle. I didn't stop playing Halo because Halo sucked. I stopped playing Halo because it disappointed the hell out of me.
But look,
And I'm
I
playing,
understand principle. Last
and
summer, I
on
said,
principle, I went an entire
hold
year
on.
not playing it.
Last summer, I said I wasn't going to play Halo again until they had new management. Remember? I said I wasn't playing this game again until because like I don't believe in the people at 343 can get anything done, can fix any of these issues, can do any better than what they've already done, which is basically ruin an IP that I thoroughly enjoyed and loved. That's what my feeling was. And I said I will not go back to this game until there is new management in place. And there's new management in place. So I had to look at like what my words were and see what they did with the winter update and be like, okay, let me play the game again because I gotta be true to my word. There's new management, and the winter update looked good, and I'm like, I really don't have a reason not to play it now.
Mm.
And so far, I don't regret my decision one bit.
No, I mean, listen. This is like I said, the whole premise was for me to sit there and say, I just didn't agree with the things that they did in the game. And I wasn't going to keep playing a game when I felt like listen, dude, I Halo, like, up into Mass Effect is the only game I will ever put in front of Halo. Halo will always be my number one favorite first person shooter. When it comes to shooters, Halo will always be it. Through the ups and downs and everything, I love that franchise, and I just felt ever since.
No, play the footage I sent you. I sent you that footage. You ain't even playing.
Oh, okay. I'll play it. But
Show everyone why we were having so much fun last night.
well, we had people. We weren't even streaming it. They were stream sniping us.
It was mad.
Hey, big
It was
man.
some angry Halo players last night. It was hilarious. I thoroughly enjoyed.
Shout out to Cat Daddy Lurk with the 7 months of being a 10%er. He said, "You are kind, smart, and important. Keep the hate." That's what
Oh, whatever.
I'm talking about.
He another one that need to let go.
Oh man, well no, I have been very listen. Ever since Erodimus, you're absolutely right. He says, Forte, you have been very salty about Xbox lately. Listen, I'm trying.
Oh, no. Xbox in general deserves it.
Yes, in general, yes, they do deserve
was a
it.
bad year for Xbox. They none of the Xbox games, the 15 Xbox game studios, had anything to deliver but one game, one little AA game that this time last year most people didn't even know existed, and that's Pentiment. Then your only 2 AAA releases from your Bethesda arm got delayed. And so you literally had almost nothing first party related to deliver on. Like, yeah, that's not a good year whatsoever. Forget what any excuses that people try to make for that. It's not a good year, period. You know, meanwhile, your competitors dropping games left and right.
Yeah. So, no, like I said, my biggest thing.
Play the footage, man. I'm waiting for the. I'm waiting.
It's downloading. But good God, I know you definitely waiting to see this. But no, but you're absolutely right. I definitely enjoyed myself playing the game. I had fun. I was playing. Shout out to Hemp. Shout out to Enrique. You know, just being in a group with people playing the game was it was
shout
fun.
Out to Yosh.
Yeah, shout out to Yosh. Shout out to him.
Yosh is the victim of many tea bags.
Shout out to your guns are mine.
Yeah. These guns are mine. These guns are mine.
Yeah, shout out to these guns are mine. Shout out to all y'all.
Oh man, that guy had it bad, man. He went to bed angry.
Yeah, he did
that last night, man. He was punching the pillow.
I mean, even the game that they
he was biting the pillow in the game.
He's biting the pillow in the game.
I'm sorry.
No,
that was mean. But it was true.
Oh my God. No, but so yes. I agree with everybody. Halo is it's fun. And I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm just so disappointed in the fact of the state that the game was in for so long. And yeah, in slow-mo, as much as I give it crap, it took you lying to me to install that game, because I literally was never going to install that game. I wasn't even looking for Halo. Halo was looking for me. Every time I had to literally, even Rand was telling me, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's a lot better now. It's a lot better now." I said, "That's a BS. I don't believe you." And then you told me it was. I said, "Okay." So I just took that. Should let you know how much I actually value our friendship. The fact that I listened to you, I didn't even question you. I was like, you were just like, "Yeah, it's fixed. They fixed everything." I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll install it," because that just lets you know I want to play Halo. But I refuse to play it in the state that it was. So I'll go away and I'll still play Halo because I have it installed and it was definitely fun. And I think that it's heading in the right direction. I still think there's a lot of different things.
That lie was well worth it then.
Yeah, it was fine. But I will say this. There is a lot of things that they definitely need to work on when it comes to the overall palette of the game and stuff. I think I'm still trying to figure out what's going to happen with the long-term view of this game. What's going to happen with DLC? I still think that this game,
I,
the
I
name
think.
Halo Infinite is mud. I don't think they
Hold on,
can ever
let me
fix
say, let me
that.
say this in regards to that. What two things? One, I want to highlight something that Cat Daddy Lurk said in the chat. He said the test of a multiplayer is can you have fun solo with it. I'm gonna come back to that. But like the other
That's
thing I
a
wanted to
good
say
question.
was and when it comes to what you just said about longevity of a game, I think kind of maybe a combination of what Cat is saying and what you were saying. They have content with Forge. It's not content they created, but it's there, you know.
Right.
And the Forge community definitely put their foot in it because there's some really interesting experiences in that. It's a lot of fun to be had. I've had some. I haven't done it too much, but I've had fun with it already. But they need to take the most popular maps in Forge and the most popular modes created in Forge. They have the numbers to know what the most popular ones because they even put the bug that I was talking about, it just showed just then. It just
Yeah, I
showed it
saw the
just then.
stuttering bug. Yeah.
Yeah, that it only happened once, but still. Anyway, um, I know they have the numbers on which of those maps in Forge and modes in Forge are the most popular. They need to be added into Quick Play. They need to be added into Team Slayer. They need to be added into like don't put them in ranked because ranked needs to be separate and in things that need to be curated. There's certain maps that shouldn't be in ranked. Yes, the Stranger Things map, as someone mentioned in the chat, I played that map. It's awesome. It's Stranger Things. It looks great. Like stuff like that. I don't know if you can put that map into multiplayer because it's too small. It's too small, and it's not designed really for that. But like those kind of interesting experiences are there, and I think that the best ones that really fit and maps that really fit for the game need to be added in there, and that allows them to like so if people not actually going into Forge to do things, they will find the Forge content because it's coming to them, and that's bringing that content to the player. I think that would be unique for them because even Fortnite's not doing that. Like Fortnite has so many different modes. I think the last statistics I saw was that in Fortnite, 50% of the Fortnite players play in creative modes and not just the modes that Epic makes. And in addition to that, I don't know if this is 100% news in that. I don't know. Can I even say this about Fortnite?
They sent you that. They sent you some creator
No,
info.
someone told me something about Fortnite stepping up. I can't remember who told me this, but Fortnite stepping up and doing uh Forge like stuff
I
in
mean,
Fortnite this year. I don't know. I ain't gonna speak on it because
it
I can
makes
barely remember what it
it
was. But
makes
let
sense
me
if they are.
it wouldn't make a ton of sense. Like they have a lot of modes that are player created, but like even they don't have those modes. Like those modes are there, but you have to find them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like even they don't. There is. It's. I mean, Fortnite's different. There's no like rotation. You choose a mode, you play it. But like there isn't like a matchmaking for say quick play and then you get like one match you get oddball and the next match is capture the flag, right?
Yeah.
um Thank you, Cats. Creative 2.0 is what Epic is doing for Fortnite. But like when you see these kind of creator experiences where they're taking things that players, the community are making and incorporating them into the game in a more efficient way. Like this could be how Halo Infinite starts to get a lot more of their player base back. And so they need to put that in the forefront. And yeah, that's all I'm saying. Go ahead, man.
No, I agree with that. I just think like I said, man, it just ultimately comes down to is the game in a good enough state? The multiplayer has always been in a good state. It's just that certain things Like it's the same thing that happened with Battlefield. Like the desync, the bullet registration, the hit registration, I should say, that type of stuff really drove me insane. And
Hmm.
it made me feel like I was worse at the game than I really was. And the fact that I even said it yesterday when I was playing with you, I was like playing in the lobbies with you. I haven't, like I said, that was my first game of Halo since January of last year. A full entire year. I uninstalled the game, never played it again. And I was still hanging with the people in that lobby. And I mean, I came up short a couple of times, but I still felt like I competed. And I felt better about the game because I felt like what I was doing in the game actually mattered. And I'm I'm super disappointed that it took a year. Well, probably not a whole year because I haven't played it in a while. But even if it took 6, 7 months for them to get to that point, this is freaking Halo. It's not your first time building a game. It's not your first game ever. And that just really, just rubbed me the wrong way. And I'll definitely keep playing it because I have it installed and it was definitely fun. But I'm just not going to forgive them for that
Oh,
until
can
they
you
do
can you
something.
also? I hope Taz is in the chat. Can you repeat what you said last night about playing it on PC versus playing it on Xbox?
Oh yeah, it's a completely different game on PC. It's way better. Oh my god. Like, and
Yeah.
I never installed, and I played on the Windows launcher, and we know how trash that thing is. I didn't have a issue on that mug, and I've never played it on PC to this point. I always played it on console, and I think a part of this has something to
That was
do.
a mistake.
Yeah, that is. It was a mistake, but I also think part of this is kind of the thing because I was talking to Brap, and I mentioned this on Game on Daily. I was like, PC is a very viable piece of hardware when it comes to Xbox right now because you don't lose the ability to play Xbox games on your PC.
Hmm.
So so it's
And you
like,
gaining the ability to play more and more PlayStation
yeah,
games,
you're
and
gaining.
you always got Nintendo games to
You
play.
you always got Nintendo games to play. So I just think Microsoft just needs to step it up and make sure that they're adding value for a reason to play on the console and stuff. Because as of right now, Xbox is just have an Xbox in your house is just you only either have it because you don't have a PC or you don't have the ability to or you just don't like playing on PC. That's the only reason you'll have an Xbox at this point because you can play everything else everywhere else or your friends. Because that was the main reason I bought an Xbox is for friends. I'm tired of the whole conversation about who's better, who's this. I mean, I'm an Xbox fan. I've always been an Xbox fan, but we're to the point now where it's like Xbox got to step it up and show people why we're on the platform that we're on. And they just kind of started the year terrible. Well, 2022 at least. 2023 is kind of up in the air, and I'm not giving them any credit for games like Redfall and Starfield when they come out because those are games that were supposed to come out last year. I got to see what's on the docket for
And
this
they more
year.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah. We're not going to talk about how those games are more Starfield because of the whole space thing. Because space is like that's like my favorite subject when it comes to science and stuff with space. So I'm definitely into it just for that. If it was like normal sky, because I'm not really into the medieval type stuff. That's why
Mhm.
Skyrim and stuff like that really didn't like speak to me and stuff.
I just don't like those kind of RPGs. I like Western RPGs, but like we talked about this before. I gotta have a. I like art whether there's Western, Japanese, whatever kind of RPG. I mostly prefer RPGs that have a party, and that's usually not Bethesda RPGs whatsoever. It's either that's the first tea bag. That's what started it.
He just called your game.
In the gameplay.
He just called your gameplay Destiny gameplay. How you feel about that, Slomo?
I feel like Rodimus doesn't know what can't tell between Halo and Destiny gameplay. So that's
Shout out
what
to
I
the
feel about
homeboy Deli watching while playing Halo.
that. But no, what was I just saying? What was I talking about? Oh, okay, yeah. RPGs. I don't care for Starfield. I might try it just because I have Game Pass and it's going to be in Game Pass. So, but if it wasn't in Game Pass, it would definitely be a hard skip for me. Redfall though was more my speed. I know a lot of people are still somewhat skeptical about like some of the ties that I've kind of seen with it when it comes to like it reminding me of Borderlands, but it does. Uh, I I'm interested in playing that with friends, as well as solo. But I'm far more interested in that game. My only really concern with my only real concern with Redfall is Arcane isn't really good at gunplay and first person shooting. Their games, although good quality games, they're not that hasn't ever really been their focus before. So like Dishonored is a lot like there's a lot of stealth involved. Deathloop's gunplay is terrible. It's like these are the kind of things that like I want them to improve upon. And when you get a game like Redfall with the way it's looking, the focus is on gunplay is at a higher priority. So they need to be better at that. And hopefully that's something that we're getting, that they're better at the gunplay aspect. And if it is that, then I'm absolutely gonna love it. Like I can't wait. So.
Split. Shout out to Blaze. Said that's some nice split gate gameplay. Shout out to you, bro. Shout Carlos of Carlos.
What
He's
was that?
uh Carlos Navarro says, wait, Forte, you're not giving credit for Redfall Starfield because they're delayed out of 2022. Half the games played in 2022 were games delayed for 2021. Sir, you are absolutely right. But I'm mostly talking about Xbox here because guess what? Xbox ain't come out with no games in 2022 outside of Pentiment and maybe what else? What other game did they release this year, Slobo? Did they release another first party game this year?
Nope, it's only Pentiment.
Just Pentiment.
Let me last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, just Pentiment. Halo came out the year before, so in 2021. And if you're talking about the PlayStation games, and look, I'm gonna be honest with you. And most people, trust me, people in this community just need to be honest with each other. PlayStation gets a pass because guess what? In 2021, they released a lot of games. Guess what? In 2022, when the PlayStation 5 came out, they released a lot of games that year for the PlayStation 5 and some for the PlayStation 4. So games like Horizon Forbidden West, even knowing it's Horizon, forevermore. In games like, Gran Turismo 7, even though in games like that got delayed out of 2021 into 2022, that's okay because they released a lot of other games in 2021 where it was okay for them to delay into 2022 and we don't feel like we're missing anything compared to Xbox. They ain't released nothing. So when they come out and say that Starfield and Redfall are going to be some of the biggest games of 2023, I'm like, okay, so you're bolstering your 2022 by giving us nothing. I mean, your 2023 by giving us nothing in 2022. You don't get a pass. And that's the only thing I'm trying to say. PlayStation.
I would go a step further. The inconsistency with Xbox as a publisher makes it so that even if they have a good year this year, like it's about building a reputation. It's about building confidence from the gamer in the platform. And so if you're always you have a strong year in 2021, but one of the worst years that you've ever had in 2022, like even if you have a good year in 2023, like that I'm not going to just develop like short-term amnesia. Like no, I remember the bad times and how you haven't had you're having a difficulty stringing together 2 good years in a row. You gotta bring me more of that before I can really feel comfortable in saying, like when you show these games, or when you actually do a show and say, hey, we're working on X game, that I feel really good about that before it comes out, and I feel confident it's going to be a good game. Spider-Man 2, I have all the confidence in the world it's going to be a banger because Insomniac is consistent in delivering bangers. They consistently drop a lot of content all the time. They'll drop 3 games before Naughty Dog drops 1. They are, in my opinion, PlayStation's best developer. and I enjoyed Spider-Man and Miles Morales. So it's like, of course, I would think Spider-Man 2 is going to be great. I do think that the stuff that Obsidian is working on is going to be really good. But when are we going to get Avowed? I don't know. It's just like it's different, and it's about the consistency of not just the developer, but the developer working with this specific publisher and platform, because that's important. Because the developer can't make a game without the resources being provided and the budget being provided from the publisher, as well as the just everything that goes along with that. It has to all work together, and when it all works together and it works correctly, then I am all in on it. Like I have confidence that Xbox's studios that have always delivered on quality will continue to do that, but there is the studios that haven't, that you have to be concerned with, that you have to worry about. And so, like, and I'm not addressing any, like, we already said we weren't going to talk about stuff like the weak Fable, rumor that ain't true whatsoever. We don't care about things like that. But what we do care about is making sure that the games that are supposed to come out are games that are delivering when they do actually show up.
Yeah. And like I said, the biggest thing, and I see around, he was talking about how it's been, PlayStation was, although it was Dorian Gray, they went 7 months in 2021 without a game. What sounds better, 7 months or 12 months? I mean, I'm just saying, 7 months or 12 months. I mean, and the thing is, we got on PlayStation, and this thing, we got on PlayStation hard, just not even talking about games for 8 months. I mean, there was a point in 2020, they didn't talk about a game. Nothing about a game for 8 months. And we cremated them for it. And we made fun of everybody on the PlayStation platform and made it seem like they had something to celebrate when they didn't even know when their next game was coming. Because after they released, After they released Ratchet and Clank and stuff in 2020, it was like nothing out there outside of, I think, what was it, Deathloop or something? So everybody was getting on them about that. This is just doing the same thing to Xbox. We like Xbox. Xbox is, our preferred platform when it comes to consoles outside of Slomo. He plays on PC, but we don't hate Xbox. It's just the fact that we're going to tell you the truth about it.
Why is it that people
sucked.
have to assume that you must hate Xbox if you're just providing constructive criticism?
That's it.
It's like, the thing is that, like, what would you rather hear from someone? Someone who's just capping for a platform no matter what. They always come up with excuse, and they hype up games that they don't play, and then pretend like the games that do come out are a 90 rated game when it's more like a 70, or it's got issues? Or do you want someone who's going to be honest? Because frankly, I don't want to listen to people who aren't honest.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I don't really know, like we're just giving constructive criticism. It's funny that there's certain people that don't want to hear it ever. They always claim, oh, I mean, like, I got no problem with constructive criticism.
Oh no.
But then
Yeah.
whenever they hear it, they get mad.
Oh no, and you know what the funny thing, and Erotis was just bringing it up in the chat. He said Spider-Man 2 dropping in October, November, so giving PlayStation a pass for 10 to 11 months? Absolutely not. As of right now, PlayStation's on the clock, just like Microsoft's on the clock. PlayStation hasn't released a game for the
PlayStation ain't had a showcase in over a year.
So guess what? The only thing
they get the smoke for that nonsense too.
Yeah, the only thing that's saving PlayStation from the smoke of people like really being mad at them about talking about games is the fact that they released a game like in the last 6 months. I forget what's the last game they released. Slomo, was it
God of War Ragnarok?
God of War Ragnarok, right? Dang,
that was November. Yeah.
So they actually released the game, so that gets them kind of off the hook. But guess what? If we don't hear, like, if the next game isn't until October or November of next year, or at least a roadmap isn't talked about with some type of PlayStation event talking about the games that's coming in the future, they gonna be getting the same smoke that Xbox is getting right now.
I mean, that's true. That you got people in the chat are making some good points here. There's PSVR coming out,
Yeah,
and there's
true.
30 games coming out. Now all those 30 games are exclusive. A lot of those games like Beat Saber that they announced at CES this week. Beat Saber's been on everything else. It's probably the most popular VR game that's
Oh,
out,
it's literally
honestly.
selling
Yeah,
Oculuses out
but
here.
they do have the Horizon VR game. That's another game that's exclusive. Like that's not going to appeal to everybody because not everybody cares about VR. VR is niche, but still they do have to give we do have to give credit to the fact that they are providing that. So there is content coming. It's just that do you want to spend another $600 to buy into it? That's up to you.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, like I said, it's not hating or anything like that. It's just, I have to be real and be balanced on the stuff that we're saying, and that's the one thing I admire the most about content creators, especially the Xbox ones that actually do talk about stuff like this and don't just make it seem like everything is great. Because everything isn't great. I find more respect for people that go out there if they're going to go out there and try and basically, live off of the views and impressions that people give them, then tell the whole story. So those are the people I respect the most, and I'm going to do that because that's what I respect, and I think you guys should want that too. You shouldn't want sunshine and rainbows when Xbox is not doing, basically give you that impression that that's what it is. Hopefully
They didn't show up to the biggest show of the year.
And Phil Spencer was out there looking miffed, like, oh my God, don't put me on camera.
They put him on camera every time a Sony game won an award. Hey, let's go to Phil. How you feel about
Phil,
that?
how you feel about that? Where's your games at, Phil?
But like the only Xbox presence that was at an award show that had 115 million people watching it was Game Pass ads.
That's it. They sold Game Pass. I'll give them that.
I would say I say this every single time when it comes to how they do their marketing, which I have a huge problem with. I like Pentiment. I don't like that they act like they didn't like Pentiment because they ain't talk about it.
Yeah.
They didn't talk about the game. They didn't promote the game whatsoever. At one point, when Pentiment was just weeks from being released, the only mention from the Xbox, the official Xbox Twitter account about that game was a reply to Obsidian's account talking about Pentiment. Like, what? This is your only first party game this year. You don't even want to speak on it? Like, what are y'all doing? So, like, sure, they're supposed to be doing their own thing soon, right? We're supposed to hear about an Xbox event soon, right?
Right. Why you saying that? Let's just transition to that because we've been
Okay.
pretty much done a thing. What is it that
we transition?
We've been talking about the Halo thing, and then it just transitioned to Xbox completely.
Yeah, it's been a natural progression. So let me
talk
finish
about
up.
that. Yeah, go ahead.
So this Xbox event is you're not going to get the same number of eyes on this Xbox event that you would have had at the VGA. The VGA had all kinds of people there watching. It had PlayStation gamers watching, PC gamers, Nintendo gamers, all these other gamers watching. Not all of those people are going to watch an Xbox event. That was your opportunity to the most important things or the best things that you're going to show at this Xbox event, whether it's this month or next month. Probably this month, I think.
Yeah, this month.
I don't know for certain.
No one knows, but that's what the rumor is.
But the most important stuff, the biggest hitters that you're going to show at this event, you should have showed at the VGA. Because then the most of my eyes would have been on it. The Xbox community, you got them already. They're going to buy your game regardless. They're already subbed the Game Pass for the hardcore guy. They're already subbed the Game Pass. They got it for 7 years. So you already got them. But to get more, to grow your platform, to grow Game Pass subscriptions, to grow more Xbox Series X and S consoles being sold, you should have showed that whatever it is you're showing at this Xbox event when those people were watching. it's the reason why. Like, did they forget why they showed the Xbox Series X at the VGAs? Did they forget why they showed Hellblade 2 for the first time and then again at the VGAs? I don't buy the excuse that it was, well, they didn't show anything because of the Activision Blizzard. That deal ain't closing this year. Ain't got nothing to do with that. But you're gonna not show anything forever until it finally closes. They don't know when that's gonna close. You can't hold off everything you're working on forever. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I just think they just completely mismanaged it, and they don't seem to have their pulse on on the marketing aspect of things right now. Like, okay, so now I'm done talking, man. What are your thoughts on this whole event stuff and
Yeah.
everything?
So, man, this event, it's time to put up or shut up. It's like, as much as I am looking forward to this event to see exactly what they're going to show, and that goes back to the statement I said earlier. I'm not giving you credit for Redfall and Starfield because those are games that we know are coming at some point this year. I want to know what's next. What's the games that you haven't talked about since 2018 when you made the acquisition of all of these first party studios and stuff. What when are, even if these games aren't being ready to be shown, you got, we have Matt Booty going out there talking about, oh, I can't wait for you to see the games that we got to show. I'm listening to what's his name talk? I forget his name. Talk about, oh, I'm more excited for the things we didn't show you during these showcases and stuff. And I'm sitting there like,
Yeah, I hate talk like that.
yeah,
Like, that does not make me feel good.
it doesn't. So, and then when you piggy that off the fact that we've been waiting like an entire year, it's not the fact that Microsoft didn't have games this year, because anybody that says that is lying. They did have games. They had High on Life. They had games that actually released on the site. That means they had really good third
As
party
Dust
games.
Falls,
As
they
does
look.
Falls. That's
I
not
would
the
say
problem.
Xbox Publishing, the best performing branch of Xbox content this last year was Xbox Publishing.
Yes.
They Enter Night with As Dust Falls, Squanch Games with High on Life. Like, High on Life may not have reviewed well, but it really pushed a lot of people engagement, which they love. They love engagement. It really pushed engagement in Game Pass. As Dust Falls was highly enjoyed by a lot of people in the gaming community. I don't know really how it did in Game Pass or not. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. And I think Xbox Publishing is kind of finding their stride when it comes to finding some indie developers that they can work with, that they could potentially uh grow those studios and build better relationships with them as well, to potentially get even better games from them in the future. But you know, it's not the same as first party. Which again, like they have Stalker 2 this year. Shout out to Everborn in the chat because he just mentioned this. They got Stalker 2, which is like, one. Hopefully, the devs who are dealing with the war in the Ukraine are are being safe as they're trying to work on this game, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But there's Stalker 2 for Xbox, timed exclusive, or yeah, pretty much timed exclusive. I don't care what the dev said about the whole comment. We have no plans of putting it on PlayStation at this time. The at this time lets you know that's just what they have to say for marketing and contract purposes. That's it. Um, but PlayStation's got Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Forspoken. They've got more timed exclusive games coming out this year. So this is going to looks like a light year for them on the first party side. They're still providing content, that AAA level content that their community is probably going to be really excited to play. So it's these are the kind of things that you kind of want to see get improved upon. Go ahead, my bad, man.
No, you're good. No, that's just how I feel at this point. I just feel like we're at a point where I just want them to show the games. I don't want you to hold back. Some people are going to say, well, you know, there's a lot of games coming out and stuff, and if they're not ready to show, they're not ready to show them. But I'm just sitting there like, it's 5 years. Some of these games we need to get more of an update on what's going on with Contraband. What is this game? What is that game going to look like? Can we at least get some type of trailer for it? What's going on with Avowed? Can we hear something about that? The whole situation. I wouldn't even be mad at them if they didn't talk about Fable, because that game seems to be a dumpster fire right now when it comes to the engine, and I just didn't want to. We just don't want to
Oh,
talk
wait,
about
wait,
that on
wait.
this show. Go ahead.
Well, I don't agree at all about that.
Oh, you don't?
No, because I think the rumor about, oh, the engine's horrible for this kind of game, they got to switch to Unreal. Oh, that's bunk,
Oh,
man.
no, I don't think they have to switch to Unreal. I do think they're having.
But in the Forza engine, look, it's an engine that has been created for racers.
Right.
Turnitin made the engine, they developed it, they iterate on it to make it better. Now they Playground has got to get this engine, create assets, create more tools, get used to doing things they haven't had to do before, like performance capture, mocap, that kind of stuff. They got to do all these additional things now in Forza Tech engine in order to get it working for Fable.
Right.
But like, we don't really know the status of it.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Like I said, it wasn't that I'm saying that the game was like the engine was the problem. I'm just saying, the fact that the reason that they're not showing it and the things that's going on with it is all engine related. It is just because they're still ironing out the bugs that they got to get figured out from converting it over and stuff. It's an amazing engine when it comes to the world, but it doesn't mean it's conducive to having, an open world with people running around it versus having cars running around mountains. It's two different types of games and stuff. So
Right.
I think the game's going to be.
I mean, we talked about that with remember with look, there's multiple different ways to kind of do that stuff, right?
Yeah.
BioWare did not get the resources they needed to be able to make Frostbite engine work for the kind of games they were making.
Right.
EA botched that whole thing. They should have just let BioWare use whatever engine they wanted to use. BioWare wanted to either use Unreal or their own proprietary Eclipse engine. They didn't get that choice. We saw the result of it. Respawn looked at, I forgot the name. I think they use Valve's engine, which is Source Engine.
They use Source Engine for Titanfall and everything.
For Titanfall and for Apex Legends.
Apex Legends, yeah.
That's the engine that they primarily use. But for Jedi Fallen Order, they used Unreal. Because for them, they're making a very completely different game they've ever made before. They created a whole second studio to make this game. They brought in all these developers in, and all the developers they brought in all primarily had work experience in Unreal, so they just made an Unreal game. And it worked. It's not like a one size fit all kind of thing, but like them going with Forza Tech instead of going with Unreal. For the part, probably for the primary number of the majority of the people on that team, they was more comfortable with Forza Tech. So it was probably just easier for them to just iterate on it, build on it, and grow and make Forza Tech better and more versatile so that it works for Fable than to have people hiring all these. They had to do a second studio anyway for Fable, which I think is a smart idea. But like hiring a bunch of people that's just good at Unreal and then do it that way, and then try to build upon it that way, when a lot of the other people maybe need to learn Unreal in order to you see what I'm saying? Like actually
I hear you.
get the work done. It's about being efficient, I think. And it's about being able to hit deadlines in a reasonable time period and not have too many setbacks and having to reassess things and all that stuff that no one wants to deal with that. But I think Fable's going to be fine. I mean, the thing is that Playground is a quality developer, and they really ain't missed yet. So until they miss, I can't really say, or I'm really concerned there's a problem. I can't really say that. They've delivered on all their
Well, yeah,
games.
every game they release, they have delivered on, and I'm
Um,
not really. But that also just comes back to the fact that I'm okay with them not showing this game if they say they're not ready to show this game. I'm good because
oh,
they
that's
showed
the
the
only problem I had when Matt Booty said, what did he say? He said, "Oh, I wanted to show the game, but it was like no."
yeah, no.
Uh, who's the boss here? You're the boss. You wanted to show the game. Show the game. This is your you run these studios. You're supposed to run these studios.
Oh,
You put your foot
he's the
down.
puppet master at this point.
Look, man. Like if I was in his position, we would have seen Fable.
You would have seen Fable by now.
We
What
would have
about
seen Fable, but
all
maybe
right?
that's just me.
So final question for the topic. What three games do you think you absolutely well not what do you think? What three games do you absolutely need to see at this Xbox event when it happens? Top three games you have to see.
Well, I'm gonna say all three of the games that are supposed to be coming out
Well, no, I'm not
in
talking
the
about the what.
first 6 months.
Well, I'm not talking about those. Well, I mean,
Forza Motorsport,
no,
Starfield, and
no. Well,
Redfall
we
all
already we okay.
prominent.
Outside of those, I was hoping you would just not pick those three. Okay, what three games do you want to see if for the future of what's going on with Xbox outside of those three games? Because, like I said, for me, the biggest thing is it ain't about Redfall, Starfield, and Forza. You know, I know those games. Maybe Forza because they haven't really shown anything for Forza, but Redfall and Starfield, those games are coming. I need to know what else is coming. So outside of those,
Oh, for
okay,
me,
for
yeah.
you, what three games?
Well, I would say one Fable because Matt Booty said it looked good, so I want to see it. Don't be
Okay.
mentioning stuff look good and you ain't show me. So that's one. Hellblade 2 because kind of felt like they were going through this cadence where every time at the VGA they would show Hellblade, and then they did show Hellblade, and I know they finished the what did I think they finished all the performance capture of the game. So I mean I don't know where that puts them in the timetable of it being ready, but I think that Hellblade 2 should have a showing at this point. They showed us the game running, you know, they said it was gameplay. If you showing that much of it 2 years ago, yeah, I need to see a little bit more. And I would say probably the third game. I'm f- I want to see what Compulsion's making.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they've been working on this game for a while. They're the only studio that this is I think they're the only studio that was acquired back when they first started acquiring studios in 2018 that has yet to show anything of what they're making. Everyone else has showed something. And Compulsion hasn't showed anything. And I know that they're doing a very different game than what they did with what's the name of the other game they did? You remember the name of the last game? I can't remember.
Oh,
It's the
We Happy Few.
with the people on drugs.
We Happy Few.
Yes, We Happy Few. So this is supposed to be like We Happy Few was first person perspective. This is supposed to be all third person. So I know that that takes some adjustments there, right? But it's been 5 years since you got acquired. Can we see
Right.
something?
Right.
Can we see something, please? So I would say those three games.
Okay. So I'm gonna be very conservative with mines. I do think you had some really good ones for you. Um Number one is going to be Hellblade because 5 years. It's time to, especially since you missed the Game Awards. It is so at this point it's been over a year since you showed that game. Because you showed it last in 2021 at the Game Awards where you showed that cinematic with the throwing the spears and stuff with the lighting effects.
Mhm.
So it's time for us to finally see that game and not just see that game, see combat in that game from a perspective that is where you're playing it from
Right.
versus anything else. So definitely need
Right.
to see that. I do want to see what is the name of that game? State of Decay. I want to see
State the Gate 3.
I want to see State of Decay 3. You threw up
Mhm.
that god awful trailer that everybody knew the game wasn't gonna look like, and I said this is the worst decision you could never make
I
because
can't I
everybody's gonna.
I can't stand when
I
studios
was like,
do that,
why are
man.
you showing? As soon as I saw that trailer, I was like, the game's not gonna
Like,
look like this. Why are
well,
you
the
showing
game don't
this?
look like this, man. You know it don't. Like, all you're doing is setting yourself up
Yep.
and the gamer up, because the gamer is gonna feel betrayed when it's like they feel like you hit them with a hood you with a what's the term I'm
You
looking for?
hoodwinked them.
Well, hoodwink, but that's not really the term I was thinking of. Like a bait and switch.
Oh,
Like
bait
you
and
show
switch.
them one
Yeah.
thing and then it's another. And because they kind of did that with the State of Decay 2. They showed like a really cool looking trailer and then see the game. The game don't look nothing like that. I don't like when studios do that because it just gives a false impression. And then like your developers are working on this game, putting a lot of hard work and time into it, and then people are just like, man, that's not what I saw, so I don't even care. Like now at that point, it's just like that sucks. It's yeah, I don't like when they do that. If State of K3 ain't supposed to look like that, they don't show it a trailer that looks like that.
No, yeah, and I think that game right there. I definitely want to see they what they done with it or did to it over the course of this entire
Shout out to
foray.
3-Bit in the chat, one of our favorite developers. 3-Bit says Contraband started development in 2018.
It did. That's another one. I mean, that was
5 years, bro.
five
They got
years ago. That's why I said contraband. Contraband needs to be there too.
what?
Contraband needs to be there.
Show some games, man.
That's what I'm
Like,
telling you, man. They need to show
can
something,
can
man.
you show some games, please?
Yeah, they think about it. So we got Contraband, Perfect Dark's going on. It seems like 6 years at this point. But I don't expect them to really show anything about that because it's just the state that it is. They're still hiring for it.
I
But
feel like Crystal Dynamics might be. I mean, honestly, like
I think that's their
the
game at this
initiative
point. I think that's their
has
game at
lost
this
like
point.
half their studio, and their studio wasn't that big to begin with. Crystal Dynamics is, I feel. I mean, look, no inside knowledge here. I just kind of feel like they're probably the ones primarily pushing development on it right now, especially when Gallagher, the initiative studio head, used to run Crystal Dynamics. But I don't know. We'll
I
see.
do.
They
I
just,
will say, if I threw out a dark horse, it could be a long shot. I would like to get some news on the Indiana Jones game from Machine Games.
cool. Look, one, I don't really care about Indiana Jones games, and maybe that's just me. But like,
Only reason I say that is
be it,
because I saw the I usually don't, but I went to go see Avatar the other day, and we need to talk about that because there's some things I got to say about it. But I went to go see Avatar, and they showed the Indiana Jones trailer for the new movie there, and I was like, huh. I never knew how much I actually like Indiana Jones. I kind of wanted to see what this game looks like, and um, I am. I'm really interested to see what that game looks like, and that would be
I
something
don't
that a
think
lot
we're
of
gonna
people don't
hear
know.
anything from Indiana Jones for a while, and here's why: because Machine Games. Maybe because maybe it's just based upon what my thoughts are about what an Indiana Jones game would be. It better not be first. It better not
Oh, it
be
can't
first
be. It's
person
got to be.
perspective.
It's got to be third person. It can't be
I,
first
I
person.
I did hear some speculation that it may be a combination of like first person, third person, and whatever. Which I mean, I think
I mean, I'll be fine with that if that's the case.
I kind of just want the third person for that kind of game, but whatever, right? Just as long as there is
Or
some
just a
aspect of third person.
toggle between it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But because that's very different than what Machine Games has done in the past with Wolfenstein, which is basically all first person. I think that like I'm willing to give them a little bit more time than usual with that because like that's a lot to get adjusted to and make sure that you're hitting the same level of quality that you did with the Wolfenstein games. Because that's
So
what people expect. Like people don't care that it's different than what you've done before. I'll give you the time, but I want the quality to be what I'm used to getting from you, you know?
So, what do you think? Okay, so Obsidian, I still think is one of Xbox's best studios. I think they're probably their
Oh,
best.
yeah, agreed. I wouldn't say they're the best, but I think they
Yeah,
are
they're
one of the
one of the
best,
best. Yeah.
absolutely.
So we got Avowed, and we know that they put up a teaser trailer just talking about all the tropes for Outer Worlds 2. Now that was 5 years ago. At this, it'll be by the time that we get the E3 this year, that would be 5 years since that. At some point, now I do think we need to see
Remember,
Avowed
5 years since what?
since they put up that teaser trailer for Avowed. I mean for Avowed for Outer Worlds 2.
Oh, it hasn't been 5 years since then.
It will be 5 years this year.
It was 5 years since they got acquired. When they got
No,
Outer
I'm saying no,
Worlds,
no. I'm talking about since they showed the trailer. They like you. We know they were
for a
working
sec,
on it
the
before
Outer
then.
Worlds 2 trailer wasn't shown 5 years ago.
It was in
Outer
2018.
Worlds 1 wasn't even out 5 years ago.
Oh, which one did when did they show that trailer for Outer
They
Worlds?
showed that trailer like last year. That no,
That was 20.
2021.
No,
Yeah, I'm about to
no,
look it up, man.
that was 2018. Didn't they show that trailer when they did the
They did
announcement?
not. For a
When
second, Outer
they
Worlds
showed that,
1.
didn't they show that when they did the announcement for them?
No, because Outer Worlds 1 came out October 2019.
Okay, so yeah, it was after. Okay.
So there's no way they showed a trailer for Outer
Oh
Worlds 2 before the
You
first
know,
game came out.
I'm getting all their E3s mixed up. The E3s are running together at this point.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I just looked it up too. Okay, yeah. So Avowed. So Outer Worlds, yeah, that's off the table.
And that trailer came out, like I said, in 2021.
Yeah, okay. It just seems like it was.
And the whole trailer was making fun of the fact that they really didn't
Yeah.
have anything to
But
show.
you know what
It's just an announcement.
the funny thing is? The reason that threw me off is because Microsoft ain't released no game, so I'm just reaching. I can't think of nothing. But outside of that, I mean, I think it's time to show that. But I think the major ones for me, Hellblade, State of Decay, and bleh. Oh, Indiana Jones is the ones I want to see. I'm more optimistic of them not showing Indiana Jones, but everything else I feel like needs to be there. Well, you got anything else, Lomo?
No, I'm good, man.
You good? All right, guys. Great show. We actually
Absolutely.
went longer than I thought we would go for. I mean, but then again, we didn't have a show last week, so. But then again, there hasn't been any news either. So
There really hasn't.
it hasn't been any news either. So, as always, DPS podcast. Me and Slow Mo really appreciate all the love and support. We want to do
I don't
our.
think you ever said which episode this is.
I said 115.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay, maybe I missed it.
Yeah,
My bad. Go ahead.
you definitely missed it.
Go ahead.
But with that being said, guys, I definitely want to shout out the members of the podcast as soon as you know what? Shoot yours because it looks like my browser is frozen and oh, there you go. Never mind. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
Okay, cool. I thought it was going to drop the stream. But I do want to shout out the amazing members of the podcast. So let me pull that up. Do you have yours up already?
Yeah, I got mine.
Yeah, go ahead and do yours.
Shout out to Dad of War, Cat Daddy Lurk, Dragonheart Yobi, Enrique, Hargi Shanid, Texas, True Serum, Big Mike, Arodimus, Ramon Terrell, Homie One Kenobi, Sir Taz, Forte, Curry Hale, Stardust Acero, and that guy Smitty.
All right. Appreciate you guys. And for myself, Data War, Texas, I'm a Rich Swat Lord, Ramon Terrell, Hargi Shani, Surtas 117, Stardust Acero, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast Brap, Corey Hale, Cat Daddy Lurk, Arodimus, the homie Small Backslaps, DJ Oris, and that guy Smitty. We really appreciate you guys for supporting in that way. And as always, it's very much appreciated, but it's not needed, but it's always appreciated when you guys do that. But with that being said, Slow Mo, where can everybody find you and what do you got going on your channel next?
I'm working on a video. Well, two videos at the same time, but one of them is closer to being finished than the other, so I should hopefully have it out by next week. In addition to DPS being on my channel next Thursday as well, and I haven't done a lunchtime with slow mo yet this year, which that's my bad on that. I planned on doing one a few times, but like things with life kept coming up and stopping me. So maybe I'll be able to get one in tomorrow. We'll see what happens, or maybe this weekend. We'll actually this weekend might not be bad. Saturday, we're doing a birthday party for my daughter, who's turning 7. So outside of that, like maybe early next week or tomorrow, but like definitely lunchtime slow mo is coming back. So I do appreciate you guys for coming through, and hope you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Really appreciate you, and always an amazing job that you do, Slow Mo. And for myself, Gaming Forte, you're already on the channel. Hit the sub button, hit the like button. Make sure you follow us at the official DPS podcast Twitter account, and we will see you guys.
YouTube account as well.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, YouTube account as well. And you guys have a great start to the beginning of your year. We will see you for episode 116 on Slow Mo's channel next week. Have a great week, and we will see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.